I don't have a choice.
Yes, it'll lose it.
We will open this meeting of December 12th, 2013. Let the record show that Selectman Jessamine decided to take his 60th birthday off and not be here with us, so we all wish you a very happy birthday, Joe. May there be lots of chocolate in your future. On our agenda, we're going to set aside, because it looks like we have some people from the public. So we'll take a second. Let's see what Kathy, Sherry.
Well, yesterday our landlord brought us down a cease and desist order for our signs on our building, which we were kind of taken back by, the two of us, since they've been up there for 3 years and nobody has said anything about it. And when I put mine up, I was told to get a letter from my landlord and to do what I had to do. And I believe the measurements and everything else were forwarded because they were asked.
Yeah, I'll reply to that, because if there's gonna be a sign allowed on the side of a building, it'd be done by permit only. And they're not allowed.
I had asked you, the day you gave us our occupancy, what I needed to do for a sign up there.
And I said you had to go to zoning, you'd have to get a variance to do it.
No?
Okay, I didn't.
Didn't
You
do me
didn't.
either.
You told me there was no permit.
All right.
You asked for the measurements and what it was gonna look like, and I believe they were forwarded to you. And to do what I had to do. The landlord gave us permission.
So what do they have to do in order to, the signs have been up since
2010.
your sign as well, Sherry?
Hers was up before mine. Mine went up in December 3rd.
2010. Yours went up
Around June.
2010.
What was stated was that we needed to do all that you said if we had a sign that stuck out.
No, on the side of the buildings, I said.
No.
Yes, I wouldn't tell you anything otherwise.
Stick out, and that's why I never did that one.
Because we're allowed to have signs stick out on the main street.
All the stuff we went through to make everything compliant, and everything I've been through, do you think that one little sign and piece of paper would have been a problem? No, it wouldn't. And I believe it was Kathy who gave me the paperwork for the stick-out sign, and I never did it. And because I just didn't want to go through all that.
So what do they have to do in order to come into
Well, they're not allowed on the side of the building.
at all?
It's Tony's building.
Doesn't matter if it's Tony's building. It could be the president's building, they're not
Why
allowed.
is it gonna make a difference?
What's that?
If I paint big purple flowers on there, is it gonna matter?
No?
Yes. It will? Okay.
Why?
It's not, the zoning states you can't have painted signs on the building.
What about
But if
the
she just
sidewalk?
puts flowers on it.
I'm just
What about the
joking.
No, but I'm serious. If she just puts flowers on it
Back
and
to
there's
the
no
signage
message,
issue, I
it's not a sign.
help with my signage issue, and this sign was never brought up, ever
Hey,
mentioned.
I can tell you a sign was brought up to your husband about that sign, actually.
Absolutely not.
Actually, it has been.
When?
When I talked to him, I don't know, a year ago, I brought that up to him.
The sign on the side of the building?
Yes, I did.
We didn't even
What about
get,
2 years before that?
No, listen, I can tell you that I've talked to my lawyer. Any signage that's been put up that's illegal, there's no time restraints on going forward with it. None.
But in 3 years, it was never said.
It's not the most
like
important thing on my
grandfathered in.
list.
It wasn't approached at the beginning,
do you keep records of this stuff?
That sign? I didn't
Of
keep- no.
anything, any of this, do you keep record?
Of signage?
Of anything you said to us?
Obviously not.
If they put in, if they sent in dimensions and what the sign was like, if they said they asked you what it was and they sent in dimensions, would you have kept a record of that?
If it was done with a permit? Most likely. Because I would have gave a permit to get the sign.
Everything we had to do, believe me, that wouldn't have been a big deal if I had known.
Right.
But it's been this amount of time.
It's not what we
And
were told.
aside from that,
Of course it wasn't.
Aside from that,
Of course it
I did
wasn't.
write you a letter.
I have another question too.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, I'll give it to you
This
after.
letter says a sign was added to the building without a permit and because of a building inspection. Are those building inspections done every year?
They done, what do you mean, done every year?
An inspection of the above referenced.
That day, I went up there, looked at the sign, still up there, and I sent you a letter. Just like the flag that you have flying out in front of you that says gold, everybody else took theirs down, but you guys.
You told me I could have one that said gold and one that was.
No, I didn't.
Holiday.
No, I did not. I said one open and one with a holiday, is what we said.
No, you said
Yes.
one that had the store and one that had a holiday. That was
I'm not gonna sit here and argue about it, so.
Okay, I want to know, on my flags I'm going to get?
What flags?
I'm going to get a couple, as long as I have permission.
The feather flags, you mean? Like TLC? It's an issue. And I think that's the problem. The feather flags are an issue, and they have been. Let's stick with one thing at a time first, the sign. What are we doing to, what, do
If you
we
want a
need
sign
them?
on the side of a building that's not allowed, you have to go in front of zoning like I've told them. They've never been in front of zoning to do the sign.
We've never been told that we had to do that.
Nobody has.
Now,
I tell everybody the same thing every time about signage.
with all the stuff we did, and all the money I've spent and been stolen,
Can you tell them the procedure to go through to?
My sign guy, who actually put my sign up, wouldn't have put it up if I didn't, if I needed a permit.
Who put the sign up?
Jerome Signs, JC Signs.
Where they out of?
They are out of Wolfboro.
Well, most people know that put up signs, need permits to put signs up.
Right, but we asked, and you said we didn't
No,
need a permit.
I never told you didn't need a permit. I wouldn't do that.
you did.
I didn't.
You know what, we need to go on from here.
And we're not gonna
I
argue
assume
the
that you'd
thing.
like to be able to keep the signs
Yes,
or have the
they're actually
signs.
bolted into the building and.
So
they're really
if you have signs that are not allowed by ordinance, the only way to keep them is to go to the zoning board, regardless of what anyone
Okay,
may or
so
may not have told you.
how do we do
If
that?
you stop by the office, you'll see Gus, you know who Gus is. She will give you an application for the zoning board that you have to fill out, and then she will tell you when the zoning board will be meeting next, so that you can come in and repeat your case to them. There's an application, and it'll have several questions on it, and it's very important. You have to answer all those questions. If you don't answer one,
Flag,
then they'll throw it out.
holidays or something like that.
Points, the criteria on which they
A generic
give a
sign.
variance.
Not gold.
Okay,
So if you,
don't know
she's
that.
already gone home for today, but if you stop by during the week, she's usually here until about 2 o'clock,
2 o'clock, 1-ish.
1, 2 o'clock, so she's here every morning, by 9 o'clock or by the time we open. So if you want to stop by and get an application, or if you go on our website, you can print it out yourself, and it'll be for variance for the zoning board.
now this says we have till December 19th.
No, that was to him to notify people. That was a that's not, I don't ever make anybody, if they call me up, we give them more than enough time to take care of what they have to
I'm
take
just
care of.
making sure we're not gonna get any
No,
violations on this because
no.
we just got this last night.
no,
It's sitting in his post office box.
But anyway, you can fill out the application, and get it back to Gus, and then she will schedule you. The next zoning board meeting will be in January. And they're usually the third week of the month, Tuesday nights, sometimes Mondays.
Right.
But you will, she will give you all the information you need in order to do this. And of course, you already have your signs, so you can take pictures of it if you don't already.
I have pictures of it going up on
Yeah.
the 3rd of 2010.
So, anyway, that's all the stuff that you bring in with the application. You'll give them to her, and then she will send out abutter notices for everyone's, around your property, and you will go before the ZBA, and then we'll hear you. It's pretty simple.
And before you order feather flags, I suggest you get a copy of the sign ordinance.
they all have it.
Maybe somebody could have sent that along with the letter, which I never got a copy of. My landlord had to give it to me. It was never
The
sent
letter.
to me.
If it goes, by law, it
Goes
goes
to the
to
owner of the building.
to the owner of the building. Now, if it were advertisement on your window in your store, probably would go to you, but your building, that advertisement is on the building, it would go to the owner of the building. And
All right, well, it didn't...
we have a copy, can we just take a minute and get a copy of the sign on it?
Because I don't want to, take
We'll-
that time.
We will get you a copy of the sign, or both of the sign ordinances, no problem.
Is online as well. If you click on zoning, the zoning regulations.
TiltonNH.org.
Yes, and the index is right there, and it'll tell you what page, you go right to that, and it has the full zoning regulations are right online. Or when you come in to get your applications, Gus will be happy to, or I can run downstairs right now and print you out a copy, it doesn't matter. If you would like to take a set with you, I'll be more than happy to go down and make a set.
The feather flags are,
Then you'll know I have it.
the feather flags are a part of advertisement, and they're considered a sign. So if you said buy gold, or if you said barber shop, it's part of what it's an advertisement selling. If it were a holiday flag, or, open flag,
Or United States,
or United States, or state of New Hampshire, something like that. Right. That would not be a problem, but because it's an advertisement, we have to abide by the signage ordinance, and that's where the issue comes with the gold on it. The other flag is no problem, because you change it out to be Christmas, Halloween, or whatever. That's not an issue. So if you had an open, which might help you out on the end there, with the American flag, or however open, then that wouldn't be an issue. Christmas, like Kathy has. And you can't put them too close to the curbing so that they would hit the car. But yours is a different situation, because yours, I don't think that there are holes in every curbing, so you really have to look at it.
One of every front of a storefront,
There's one,
should be.
yeah,
But they also
Kathy, and
have the dirt areas where the trees are.
What's that?
You have areas where there's no asphalt because the trees are there, so you could...
right, where the trees are. But I think you are lucky because you have two in yours, because there's two stores close by, but I think there's only going to be one in front where you are.
That's fine. Can I have that in writing, that I can have that?
It's in the ordinance.
In the ordinance.
Yeah, it is in the ordinance.
So I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Open flags, and plus this is being recorded as well, Sherry. December 12th, it's online, it'll be online tomorrow or Monday, and it's kept online, the video. So, if you had Tilton Barbershop on a flag, that would be advertisement, and not okay, because that would be included in your signage.
Put a picture on the thing. Picture, like a face, or something like that.
You could put up any flag of a country, you could put up United States flag, you could put up, couldn't they put up just a flag that has flowers or trees or mountains or scenery on it? As long as there isn't anything on it that indicates advertising. Couldn't they?
Well, she's out in like a pair of scissors.
Or shears or something along those lines. So in other words,
It advertises your business, you can't have it.
Maybe if you had somebody crocheting with the scissors.
if we advertise it all for our business,
It adds to the signage that you're allowed for your
what you're
business.
saying, but my point is that how are we gonna have business? Since they did all the ticketing up there this summer, business dropped off, and it's not just at my place. For my place to not have anybody in it is unheard of. I've never seen such a quiet time before Christmas in 34 years of doing hair. There is a problem here. I'm not saying that's the whole of it, I'm not saying that it's just the ticketing, although it didn't help. But there's something not right. People are not coming down here the parking was an issue this summer, and it dropped off when he gave out, I ended up paying the tickets for people. They have a $12 haircut, plus then I went and paid the $15 ticket. Now, is that how we want our business people to run their businesses here?
No, the purpose of that whole thing is so that we would leave empty spaces for customers to come to your businesses.
Right.
That was the whole intent of the parking.
A lot of them.
And they must have been there more than the allotted time.
Isn't it 2 hour
They must have
parking?
been there more than a lot of time.
It's 2-hour parking, right?
Right.
I don't know how he did that. I guess he marks tires.
Yep.
Yes.
Right, they mark them, right. So
Sometimes
generally, if
people
you
wait a
have,
while
so-
for a haircut, too.
if somebody comes into your place, what's the general turnaround time if on a busy day?
Today,
Mhm.
nothing.
But on a busy day,
Because now I'm here and my sign is closed, which, oh, by the way, before I left and I was getting ready to come down here, 5 people I had to turn away. So when I get back and I have 3 people as witnesses, the number of people that were turned away, I'm sending a bill to the town for.
on a usual busy day, like this gentleman that got the ticket, how long did he actually wait in your barber shop for a haircut?
Probably over an hour in the
Okay.
summer. I don't know exactly because it was, I mean, it's just a lot of people in the summer. It'd be impossible to know exactly how long everybody waited.
Well, I think it's important to know that, because if you have a really busy, the reason why I'm asking that is because we tried to, in the intent of the parking ordinance, we tried to allow time for folks in the hairdressers that would be there in a greater length of 2 hours in the back parking lot, and that's why we made it a little bit longer, because they would be at the hairdressers a little bit longer. But if you're saying that on a busy day, that people are waiting over an hour and then they're getting a haircut, so conceivably they could be there 2 hours, that's an issue, that's a problem.
Because some of them have watched a whole movie waiting. I think Al can say he's probably seen that over the years. Somebody's waited quite a while. He probably hasn't. Some of them go to Polly's and eat, and then come get a haircut. So they could be there however long that takes, 2 hours. If they look in a store.
Well, it's unfortunate, before we had the parking ordinance, then everybody from downtown was complaining to us bitterly that so-and-so at that shop is parking on Main Street and not leaving room for customers, and, this was going back and forth all the time. So finally, we came up with what we thought was a good plan, and that was to eliminate all-day parking on Main Street, make the owners and the people that work in the stores park in the back,
And I think that was good.
to leave this open. Now, if it turns out that 2 hours isn't enough, then maybe we need to look at maybe extending the time, say to 3-hour parking or 2.5-hour parking, if that's what it takes. But as soon as we lift anything, even like when we had a problem and we didn't have people to enforce the laws downtown, it doesn't take long for some people to find out what's going on, and they're right back parked on Main Street again.
Right.
And this is fine, but, the complaints we were getting was from the business next door, because that's where they were parking, or, eliminating parking places for someone else, for their customers. So, it's very difficult to find a happy medium so that business is happy and customers, which we all want to happen for all the businesses downtown. We want people to feel that they can come downtown and that there's plenty of parking for them. So,
I do think that some things need to be done down here, and parking was, that was an issue. But aside from that, it needs to look more inviting. It's not looking good down here. It's not looking good at all.
well, what's
We
not
had no
looking good?
flowers at all. We had the little flags that were up.
Yep.
Most of them were falling down or whatever.
Well, that was Main
Main
Street.
Street.
Main Street is folded.
Right there.
The Main Street organization is folded.
Then how do we address those?
They planted the barrels, and they're the ones who, are you talking about the little
The little...
Tilton downtown
Yes.
Main Street?
Well, there's things that,
They erected those.
And And they did the barrels,
And they did the barrels.
right?
We got the barrels up, not this past summer, but the one before. And
I mean,
knew
the
it-
stores-
The businesses actually took it upon themselves to
Right.
plant flowers
what happened?
last
Yeah.
year. No, last year, they did that because Main Street folded,
Right.
and they wanted flowers. And we got the barrels out so that they could do it, and that's what happened, that the year before last, they did that. But
Well,
it's hard because we only have so much in the budget to do it, and we can't pick up where they left off, because there's only so much in the budget.
The flags, just generally make it look
Yeah.
better. Or more inviting or
The
something.
lights on the trees look pretty.
Yeah, the lights
If they
will-
did over
It's not
there.
enough of this.
I guess they're honest.
It's not enough of this.
Yep.
Then maybe we should
So
take
you
that out,
have-
maybe
did you
we
get
as a
the-
town.
I included the definitions, because there's a lot of lighting terms in the definitions, in case you read
It's not
something and you
inviting.
wonder
It's up to
about it,
them.
you'll have the definitions as well.
Otherwise, what about
But
the
the
rest of it?
signage is in there, and it goes
should
by
have to
zones, and
remove those
obviously we're in
signs
the
that are falling
downtown
down.
zone right here,
It
so
doesn't look right.
it would be what is written in there for downtown. All right? And obviously, if you have any questions or you want to go forward with a variance, come in and see Gus anytime. Or you can go online and print out the application, and it's for a variance.
I think it sounds to me like there's other issues that are coming up as well, like the Main Street and the parking and things like that. If you get together with the other business owners and would like to meet with us after the holidays, I'd be more than happy to have a special meeting with just the business owners downtown, and maybe we can address some of the concerns.
Yeah.
And it does work, I want you to know, it's like we had the planning board had the meeting with the downtown, or all town businesses, and there were a lot of people from downtown that were represented, and we heard some very good ideas. We're in the process right now of revamping and simplifying our signage, our regulations, and we did hear some excellent ideas that we're going to try and incorporate. So it does help when we get to sit down and talk to people, and they tell us, instead of just getting angry at us, join these things and, voice your
tried.
concerns. Oh, I understand that you can't always make it.
I have tried to join in, and I've got stabbed in the back,
Well,
and cost me thousands of dollars. I have tried to work with everybody on various levels. And to tell you the truth, my patience is short. Coming down here has almost put me over the top today, having to deal with this. At the holiday season, we're short of money. There is not the business that is normal.
okay.
And the timing was just great. Now I've lost a half day fooling around with this a few days before Christmas. With the rents we pay and everything we have to deal with, this is, it's, the consideration was not there for anyone. I'll say that. But we will deal with the sign issue, although it is a day late and a dollar short. And it's made me almost want to move out of this town, the way I've been treated. Not with you. You've been fine. Pat's been pretty good. Al was good till this. I don't know what the heck happened here. And we won't
Right.
talk about the rest right now.
I think that, going forward, start with the signs.
Right.
And if we can help in any way, we will. All right,
Okay?
thank you.
Thank you for coming in.
I will give you my letter, just so that it shows I was here,
Okay.
and it's on record. Aside from that, who knows what that Mr. Burns. I had addressed it to Al, so I'll give it to him. As you wrote me the letter.
Thank you.
Just an acknowledgement, basically. All righty.
Okay, take care.
Thank you.
All right, let's,
Before we leave the topic of signs, I just want to make sure that we had a brief conversation about the number of those the banner signs, right?
Yeah.
The ones that, the
yeah,
feather signs that are
feathers.
considered banner signs.
banners, right.
According to that,
So the
they-
reason we're saying that they can have multiple is because if they don't have any writing on them, they're not
Right.
considered a sign.
Right.
They're a decoration.
Right.
Okay. Because it does say only one banner sign per property
But
that does not
that's-
exceed 4
Right.
square feet.
Right. But they're exceeding that. They got banners all over the place.
And then there's one that says banners displaying an open or sale message
Yeah.
Is allowed.
is allowed. And then if you go to the village area, God, I haven't looked at this in years.
How about that?
Downtown district.
Isn't that being rewritten
Yes.
next year,
Downtown
right?
district is
Well, it'll be
even,
on the ballot.
Ballot this year, right?
Yeah.
I've looked at that thing so much and discussed it so much with the people downtown. They make you crazy.
Well, you know, it's like the people who came to our public hearing that we had. They don't understand. Well, Lowe's has a great big sign, why can't I? You're in the downtown, there's no room for great big signs in the downtown. You know, each district has its own square footage that it can have, and downtown is a whole lot smaller.
Am I incorrect in saying that the day we had that signage discussion with everybody, that when we told them there is no advertising with those
Right.
things?
Oh, no, that was all
Including
part-
gold.
Right,
Never told them once they could have anything that says gold on it.
not
It's-
gold
I don't
or
think-
anything else.
Let's not get into it.
Yeah.
He said, she said,
No, he said, she said, it's
I know.
there's an
recorded,
audio of this
it's
meeting.
videoed,
that
Right.
we-
and it's right.
right,
There's an audio.
I wouldn't
that
tell
can
somebody
say-
something that's
That
not
video.
in black and white.
right. I think that the issue is that obviously there was quite a misunderstanding as to what could be put up there,
In their minds.
right, and then into what we said today, so let's just go forward with that.
I was going forward with it all together.
And hopefully, by the time they get to the zoning board, it will be corrected and all that whole issue will go away.
What do we think about the bill when we get it? Because we're not paying no bill.
I have to move it. They're poisonous.
Nobody asked them to come.
That's right.
All right. Joyce, would you like to come up now? I know you have to leave.
Start the meeting.
We did.
Already?
Oh, we're on camera.
We're on camera.
We made sure of that.
Well, that would have been awful if we weren't.
No, I meant, on your agenda. I didn't-
It's just minutes, and then we got commissioners coming in a half hour.
Today. And we have the one next week that wants to get rid of.
No, yeah, Cormier, our favorite, yeah.
What?
Yeah, don't tell Catherine.
What?
She's coming in next
A
week.
Representative Cormier who wants to
Oh,
get
somebody
away
told me that. Was it you that told me
with
that?
the Lakes Region Planning Commission.
Yep, she wants to get rid of the planning commission, she wants to get rid of half of the county.
And I have to sit here and listen to this.
No, we don't.
You
We can
need
argue.
to. We need you here. Don't even think of being gone.
What can I do next week?
I can't even imagine. I wonder if there's an agenda, personal agenda.
I don't know.
Cookies?
This is the
Baking a lot of cookies?
property R171221. That is
Here, you have mine.
paid in full.
Look you in the eye with it. We're tired.
I am. It's, trying to do the holidays and work and personal stuff and family stuff. And then we had discussed a couple of weeks ago that the process would be, we deed it back because it's been kept in the town's name.
Yep.
It wasn't exempt, though, so it still generated a tax bill. We abate it, and as soon as those two things are done, then I will I'll prepare a supplemental warrant and send it back to him. The first meeting of January, we'll have the property owner of our, of 24 of R11, 1110 coming in. At that time, if it's fully satisfied, then we can do the same thing. And this one is for that little piece of property that we took by tax deed. That I still need to follow up with the former owner, but this way it will stop generating any $2 tax bill. We'll save
what?
us a $2 tax
Oh.
bill. That one I'm holding off on. This is an abatement recommendation from Lauren.
You oxygen that?
Oh, okay.
These were from last week that we didn't get to.
I didn't sign the other one, did I?
This is a supplemental tax bill prepared by Lauren for Lot U0667, Tilton Affordable Housing. This one is a,
No, that's when you sign. I guess I didn't.
okay, this one is all signed.
Want to sign it?
Yeah, let's go. Sorry, Catherine.
Is this the rest of it? Is this the rest? of it?
No, that's Belknap County's
Okay,
budget.
this one is done because Catherine already signed it and so did Al. The only one didn't is Joe and...
Okay, and Catherine, I'll need to witness this after they sign. This is the deed that we signed for, let me hand that to you so I don't.
So this isn't filled out. I think these are filled out. Abate and issue supplement tax bill.
I think I
So
just
we
got-
are granting these?
Which one is these?
Well, this is abate and issue supplemental 2013 tax bill.
Did it say granted or
That
denied?
does not applicable.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're granted. They're both granted.
Oh, okay, good. I can
I'm
do that.
sorry, I didn't see that.
I always start with that box choice.
Let me check this one. This one is granted. But you're not signing this one until you meet with them on July.
What is this property?
This is the one, Taylor, it's the little,
Windsor Drive.
yeah, it's
This is
the little itty bitty one that's landlocked.
This is Windsor Drive.
One's Windsor Drive, right?
Is that the one we just signed
Yes,
for,
that you signed the quitclaim deed.
okay.
And so we'll issue a supplemental tax bill.
So that's why we're signing it.
Yes, because I can't issue a tax bill until we get it back in his name.
Okay.
And the other one, the town still retains, it's just that we're,
You have to
Change to
present it.
tax exempt town owned.
right, so we're going to go ahead and change it to tax exempt.
This is the land up,
Yep,
the little narrow neck that goes to it.
Right.
Rocks and boulders.
right. I had attempted to, on 2 occasions, to contact the
We saw that.
relative, and it's just, we'll do it. It's just that this way we save having to generate a tax bill of such a small amount.
Thank you.
We should talk about selling this,
Sorry, I
And
didn't
that-
realize it was.
that piece of property up in Lockmere,
Yes,
that random
Yes.
piece that we probably should have done when we
yep.
sold the beach house.
This is up by the veterans, that little piece up there.
Yes, I know where this one
But
is.
this also abuts Buffalo, doesn't it?
Yes.
So why don't we
I
just do a lot line on Buffalo?
Don't know if that, does that about Buffalo?
I don't know, I'd have to go pull the file and see.
Remember that little piece of property that we took for taxes?
We'll be dealing with it.
Yeah, we can
deal with it.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah,
And
Doesn't it abut Buffalo?
it's up there.
We
Or
can
is
look
there
at
a piece in
that
be-
later.
Is there a piece in between?
I think there's a little sliver in between there.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a matter of, over subsequent conveyances, it was like a little piece that was left out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We check that because you might just do a lot line for Buffalo.
We'll talk to the Conservation. If it does, we'll talk to Conservation Commission, see if they want to do that.
Right.
And also, because the individual, I don't know who has the power of attorney for the individual, I tried to get in touch with that person. I'd want to notify them. I mean, we've sent all the required legal notices, but just to say, hey,
Absolutely. I
this is
think
what
so.
we're thinking about doing. Okay. All right, so this is, this is granted, okay? And the affordable housing one is all set. That is the supplemental warrant, okay. We have three things going on here. Yesterday, Mr. Canzano, let me pull out the request, and then when Lauren was here today, we were able to resolve it. That was his request, and I can read this, if that's all right. Okay, this is his request to pay legal fees to clarify his property ownership as a result of the December 2013 tax bill. Some time ago, Mr. Canzano had come in to complain to Cindy. It must have been right after he got his tax bill, saying that he didn't own this particular piece of property. Cindy referred him to Gus. Gus went through, looked through the town files, and she said, I don't know, she would have to put it in Lauren's folder for Lauren to review on her next office visit, which is 12/12. Lauren was here today. However, prior to waiting for Lauren to come in and research it, Mr. Canzano, on his own, contacted his attorney to send a letter explaining that the assignment of convertible land, this is a document, was a second document recorded at the Registry of Deeds. It was not part of the deed. What happens is monthly, Gus goes onto the registry, she pulls down all of the deeds, and then she goes in and she makes the ownership changes. What he's referring to is a separate document called an assignment of convertible land. They're very rare. It's most common that if someone is assigning some rights away, that language is put in the warranty deed. If it's not included in the warranty deed, it makes a reference to a book and page of where that document is. Okay? And anyway, this assignment of convertible land is retaining rights to convert common land to additional condo units. This is the address on that, CVG. So that's what...
997.
That's what he conveyed. He sold a condo unit on a warranty deed. He sold rights to a dock and beach on a separate warranty deed. And then he also conveyed these conversion rights in a separate document. But nowhere in those two deeds did it reference this other document. The only place it referenced that document was on the Form PA-34 that both the buyer and seller are supposed to submit to the state and to the town offices, and it's in there, and it referenced this assignment of this other right, but the document that it referred it to, the book and page number on that Form PA-34, was not the document. So it could have been, so anyways, he brought it to our attention, and Gus said, okay, yep, I'll give it to Lauren, we'll look at it. But in the meantime, he went to an attorney.
I was there, part of the conversation when he was talking to Gus.
You were?
I
Okay.
was there.
So now he came in saying that he wants the town to pay the attorney's fees. Well, we don't do that. We didn't ask him to.
He didn't need
He didn't
to.
need to.
There was no litigation
because-
on our part.
Because he brought it to our attention. When he brought in his tax bill and he said, I don't own this. Okay, take it, we'll look into it and we'll see what it is. So, since he brought to the attention that he had assigned these rights, because we never saw that come through on any document, oh, well, we'll go look for that, because you can call up that specific type of, you can call up and say, give me assignments. Or go to his property and say, give me every deed that's to this property, and we could have found it. But it didn't come through in the regular paperwork that we
Gus
processed.
had pulled out all his files, went through them piece by piece, and indicated that we did not have what he was
Right,
suggesting that we absolutely must have received.
right.
She went
Well, we
and
have
talked
it now.
to Cindy, and Cindy said, we don't have this. And the advice was to, get us that document. And it was just that simple. There was no, just, yeah, we'll work it out. This is what we need to do to get, to resolve this issue.
So,
He went and got a lawyer without, for his own rights, he did it for
Right.
himself. So we're not responsible for his bill.
yeah, in most deeds like that I've seen in my experience, you always, you do as many references as you can to certain documents so you can pull it all together. The other thing we noticed, that in the warranty deeds, he gave the wrong address. He had Samberton, not Tilton. So, with your permission, well, I should say, if the board so chooses to deny his request to pay his legal fees, and I can send him a nice letter that our selectman has corrected the town's assessing records, which this is an abatement for that. And here's all the
What's the amount?
$763.
Make the motion, we deny his request to pay that amount.
Second.
This all goes with that.
No, that's not the,
No.
that's not the legal fee. The legal fee is $165.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's why I asked
abatement
the-
Yeah, I thought you asked what the abatement was
All
for.
right, I
Yeah, so,
take back my motion, and motion for the $100 and something dollars.
Yeah, to deny the request for
Deny
legal
interest.
fees.
For lawyer fees.
Okay.
the motion has been made and seconded to deny Mr. Canzano to pay his legal fee of $165. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and then...
This is now an
this is-
abatement?
This is abatement because we've corrected the...
Right. And then I can give that to Cindy tonight. She can quick get it into the system so that when he comes to pay his tax bill, well, he won't come to pay it because she can abate it and it goes away. And then this is a supplemental tax bill that it should go to the new property owner.
Who's the new one?
Our Lady of the Lake Trust.
King Arthur?
I was gonna say, she has a nice store in Marion. The Lady of the Lake.
Or I should say
Revocable
Excalibur,
trust.
because
Don't
she's the
forget
one that has
Revocable
Excalibur.
Trust.
Oh, yeah.
It's Lady of the Lake Revocable Trust. All right, you want that back?
Yes, that's all going to go with all that. We'll put that all in the file.
There you go.
Okay, and then, let's keep you signing while I can. Okay, this is the, it's a 5-year maintenance agreement, I'm sorry, maintenance, preventive maintenance agreement with Garaventa Lift for our elevator lift, which is 5 years old. It expires the end of this month. I asked if they will give us another extended warranty, and they said that the manufacturer does not go beyond 5 years.
So what does that mean?
So we can't get a warranty, but we can keep the preventive maintenance. And this is the same amount as we paid 5 years ago.
We should.
And if we pay now the $2,600, this $2,600 already includes a 5% discount. So it's for 5 years at $2,600.
So, since our warranty has expired, is there any other company that we should be talking to get a comparative quote?
To maintain it, well, I know that there's very few people in the state that are licensed to inspect and,
Very few.
Besides, these people now know our unit really
Yeah.
well.
so we pay them to inspect it. Otherwise, you wait on a list forever for the state to come and inspect it.
How have they been as far as responding to.
Oh, very good,
Like when we
very
had
good.
that growling noise, that was
Yep, yep.
interesting.
One of the things we try and do, when people bring to my attention, it's making this noise or that noise, we'll look at it. Usually it's the same thing where that one piece slides over. This $2,600 for 5 years is for 2 maintenance visits a year. So if we can kind of put off, if something is not, really critical, or, if we're afraid, then go ahead and shut it down, let people use it. But I can call them and say, geez, we're having this problem, and he'll look at the calendar and he'll try and schedule it as part of a preventive maintenance, because otherwise we pay for mileage and
Do they let you-
outside the thing.
Do they let you call them up and say, okay, we're hearing a noise, is it something
yeah.
I can ignore?
Yes.
Put it on hold?
Yes.
And not charge us for that
Yeah, it's the same
consultation?
guy, Jim, I think you've met him, Jim that,
I've met him.
yeah. And
Do you ever watch the films to see if the thing bringing itself up all by itself, if somebody was messing with the buttons downstairs?
oh, no.
That was the weirdest thing. Came up, we were here for a budget meeting.
I remember.
Came all the way up and the door didn't open, so I thought they needed help. I walked over and opened the door and there wasn't a soul in there.
Yeah,
Whoa.
somebody had to have been.
The other part of this is that if there are parts that they need to replace, we get 20% off.
Very nice.
Yeah, I would say Al, what do you think? I mean, you know the guy.
I'll make a motion that we go with Garaventa for 2,600?
Yeah.
28.
2,600
Sorry.
That's okay.
2,600.
You can dump 'em there. Thank you.
For a 5-year maintenance
agreement.
agreement for this lift.
Now,
The
that's,
motion's
go ahead.
made and seconded. Any discussion?
That's $2,600 per year.
No?
No, that's 5
5 years.
$2,600
For the
for
5,
5
yep.
years. I just want to make that
Yeah.
clear.
And we still have to budget annually for the annual elevator inspection and also the license. And,
That's from the state, right?
yes, the state requires that. And what I'll do, because the next 2 things are going to require some discussion, is, if it's all right with you, you want me to keep going and make him wait?
We gotta wait on the other one.
Am I the owner and agent, and then everybody signs below?
Yeah. Yep, you're an owner agent.
Don't anybody else go on my elevator?
about it, because before,
This you don't have to act on tonight. Save one for Joe.
That's Joe's.
Yep.
That's yours. Really fine.
Yeah, I had been working on this ever since last week, when we were notified that Augusta was going to be retiring. And so this is just something you can read. You don't have to act on it tonight, but to be thinking about what we want to do for, how we want to staff the land use office, and what we would need to budget for it if you decide to go forward with my recommendation.
no, it's a nice thing with the new tower up there.
I'm not understanding what, oh, I see. Part-time planning consultant.
So in summary, it's to, let's look at the job description again, make sure that what our expectations are, that there's sufficient number of hours to meet those expectations, and then especially in light of the fact that Sandy's going to be no longer
Right.
ex officio, that now's the time to look at getting some professional planning assistance.
When did it grow into full-time?
Sandy was full-time.
Yeah, it was full-time. She's
Okay.
Sandy started full-time,
And then
part-time,
Gus
went
was
full-time. When Gus was hired, she was hired part-time.
Right, because this starts it at part-time, brings it to full-time, but it doesn't bring it back to part-time.
Well, the original position, I'm saying the original position was called a Planning Zoning Assessing Coordinator. That was your job title.
What's it
Sandy.
called now?
It's called Land Use Coordinator.
Oh,
So that when Sandy left the position, at that time, the Board of Selectmen made it into a part-time position and reduced the hours.
So she's still right now it's part-time.
Right now, it's part-time. So,
Because she does more now.
right.
There's a lot more involved in it, so
Or with the 911 and,
I really do think that we really have to put some thought into this because, you know, you have 911, do you want 911 to stay with land use? Do you want, you know, where do you want to do with it?
Right.
And then, do you want to have somebody in there because now we lose the expertise of Sandy. She's leaving, bummer, but that's the way it is. She's quitting on us.
She's retiring.
I envy you.
No, you're quitting, Sandy.
she's going to go
I
and
envy
enjoy her
you.
grandchildren.
Right, so
Thumbs up.
it's a lot to think of
Hey,
about.
when you get to be my age, you'll want to retire too.
Hey, I'm jealous.
And the thing
I'd
is
like to
that
enjoy my
she really did her best to adhere to the 25 to 27 hours a week. Because a lot of the evening meetings is dependent upon what the activity is, which I confirmed when I went and I looked at her hours. So,
And this is what, this Lakes Region Planning Commission, this is what a professional planner would
oh,
do?
this would be in addition to.
In addition, so
Right.
your recommendation would be to bring in a part-time planner.
Someone to come in and advise her and the board.
Yeah.
He can come in and help her as far as whoever we hire to look at the plans.
As a
make sure
planner.
they are- Yes, as a planner, to look at the plans, make sure they are compliant with our zoning ordinances.
Yep.
And offer suggestions to the board members and to Gus, or whoever we hire.
Yeah.
Using Gus, to, you know, advise the board one way or the other, and he can also attend the meeting if it's a new, you know, and they're
Right.
considering a site plan or subdivision.
And then what would we do in the case of, like, planning and zoning meetings that need to be recorded and,
Oh, no, you'd still have your land use coordinator.
oh, okay.
Oh, no, you still have your land, but I'm just saying.
In addition to bringing
Yes.
like a
But that person
part-time.
would be monthly, quarterly?
The planning consultant would be monthly, for both planning and zoning board. It would be so many hours a month. You would agree on how many hours a month. I
think we
figured
need to
10
get a
hours.
job description of what that would be.
Well, that's why I
Right here.
attached that's for the planning
That's why I
consultant,
asked. 'cause-
Land use coordinator.
No,
That's
keep going.
Back.
in the back.
The back
That's planning, zoning, and schedule of
Professional
meetings.
planner.
Professional planner.
Yeah, I gave you the current
But
job
that's an
description.
agreement.
Right, it's a sample agreement, but it's got a scope of services.
Yeah.
This is a service that Lakes Region Planning
Oh,
Commission office
wow. Right.
offers. There's also, you can go through engineering firms, hire professional planning consultants that you could pay per hour. And there's also, I gave you the information on the New Hampshire Planners Association.
Right, and I can also tell you that anytime a case comes in at the board's purview, if they so desire, they can tell the applicant that they're going to hire a professional to come in and go over their site plan and advise the board, and whoever is doing the site plan is the one that pays for it, not the town. So they have that authority.
If a major application comes in, yes.
Well, even on smaller ones, sometimes if they're planning roads or they're doing something and they're questioning whether or not that use is going to be too heavy of a use for its location and stuff, you know, there's any number of times that I can see where you would call a professional in to advise you. You know, it just,
Well, and also, I would see that they could help with, the professional planner could help with reviewing ordinances,
Yes.
writing ordinances, suggesting new things that are going on, so.
that's correct.
So I guess it's, yes, keep the land use coordinator, but you may want to look as to whether or not you want to increase the number of hours. So to keep the position part-time, it'd have to be less than 35 hours a week. And then on top of that, hire a professional planning consultant to be you have a contract with them, they work only so many hours, you tell them exactly what you want to do, and when you want them to do it, and you can do it through the Lakes Region Planning Commission, you can advertise and hire someone, or you can go and see if you can get someone from another municipality that's working part-time that would want to work part-time.
I think our prime focus right now is to replace the position that's about to be vacated. And I think we should have a conversation with that individual and the town clerk because there seems to be some shuffling of duties that were once performed in the town clerk's
Right.
office
Yeah.
into
The
there.
tax collector used to do half of this stuff.
Right, so I think we need to have that conversation to have a clear concept
Yeah.
of
I agree.
what's going on in that land use office now besides just planning.
So
But I
let's
think
see
we
it.
need, our focus, primary focus needs to be that, and then look out.
Well, if I could make a suggestion on the 911 and the assessing, I think the 911 and the tax maps, that goes hand in hand, and the tax maps are the responsibility of the selectmen. So I would prefer to keep the 911 in the land use office.
Well, I was going to say the tax maps, that was always done by the planning coordinator anyway.
Right, and it goes hand in hand with the 911 when you're naming roads, and it's more of a selectman's function, not a town clerk function.
Let's have that conversation and see what comes out of it.
Yep.
We'll keep that on the agenda, Catherine, all right?
So I just gave you
See if we
information.
can't get Cindy, do you want to try to get Cindy in after the holiday or before?
I wouldn't wait. Did you move that?
The 19th is really booked up.
I think we need to get on this. We don't have a lot of
Well,
time.
maybe we can come in, not officially a meeting, but just come in and have a sit-down and do it.
No, we should have it
And a
at a
meeting.
meeting so the public can,
Oh, okay.
because that's going to be part of how we evolve into,
Well, what if we have
Personnel.
a special meeting just for that purpose? So that,
This is the 19th is we have, it's full, we have Cormier coming and we have more Campbell from MetroCast. Yeah,
yeah.
and we're
so-
starting at 2.
So anyway, we need
because we
to-
can't advertise for this position. Then maybe, like you said, we should have a selectmen's meeting
anytime, really,
after 11.
set something up late morning.
Yeah,
at 11
with just that
o'clock.
on the agenda.
Yeah.
Well, you know, what we could do is we could start next week at 11 and then
Oh.
just continue and break for lunch, have an hour lunch, and then just keep on going and get out.
I'll do it,
Okay.
and I don't drink coffee.
I'm all for that. You can come to the Christmas concert
Nobody's
at
eating
the high
cookies.
school.
All right.
And then, so I can,
And then we could meet with Cindy right at 11.
Look, guys, look at me.
11:30.
Well,
11 or
You're
11:30?
our 11 o'clock.
11's fine, I know.
All right,
okay, and then I'll come back when you're done.
all right.
I just have a couple more things, so.
What time do you have to leave?
Today, not today, it's next week. The 19th. Oh, no, I'm here.
You're good.
I'm here for,
Trying to be conscious of that.
Gyration.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is Commissioner John Thomas. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I think we've met.
Yes, we have Aloe Plant. Nice to meet you.
You again?
Hi, how are
You're always
you?
visiting us up there.
I am.
I know. Thanks, John.
Again, I want to congratulate you on all the work you did down there.
Oh, thank you.
Hi.
Sandy does that.
Cindy. You want me to sit here? or-
Sure, come on up here.
Have a seat.
Oh, okay.
Dennis, you're welcome to come up and join him if you want. With the delegation, he's going to do fine, all right.
Well, I'm just come to listen, to see what the feedback or whatever.
Okay.
That's all. This is the district, and I felt that I should come at least listen anyway.
Well, appreciate
We've been
that.
missing you anyway.
I haven't had no...
Michael, nice to see that your car still comes to Tilton.
Pardon?
I was saying, Michael, still nice to see your car makes it to Tilton once in a while.
Once in a
That's
while.
who that is. I didn't recognize him.
He's aged a bit.
Well,
Like I said,
Couldn't help it, sorry.
if you don't invite me to something you need me for, then I don't usually show up, you know?
Oh, we used to see you,
That way I don't stick my nose in the town business until I'm asked.
all right, so now we know.
Okay,
well, thank you. As you know, we started a few years ago our county conversations
Yep.
by going to every town individually and giving them an overview of the county and that was usually done in the summer. Well, this year, we had changed it around a little bit, and we invited everybody to come visit us at our Inn on the Hill, as we like to refer to it, the county jail. We anticipated that the budget process this year was going to be pretty much like it was last year, that it was going to be very, very tough. And so that's why we're doing this here in this process after we had handed the budget over to the county convention. And from this point on, whatever is done is the county convention. So what happened was the departments, in order to maintain some level of equality, if you will, as far as the actual budget goes, they came out with after a lot of work, they came out with a 26% increase. And that was mainly, it's scary, but if you understand why, it's what has been, what happened to them last year took so much away that this year, it's, Deb just got here because of the fact that, according to Mike, the traffic out there is absolutely brutal coming in here. So anyways, these are the reasons why that 26% came out, was trying to, because of the, I'm just going to call it damage that was done last year to the budget in whole. They had to try to bring the quality of the services and the quality of the operational capabilities of each department up to a standard that we've been trying to maintain over the last 4 years. And so we pared that down. The commissioners got together and we pared that down to a 9% increase. And we also knew that that was probably not going to fly. So we cut it down. But we could not see it go anywhere less than 4% increase, because 4% increase would have undermined all the work that we have been doing over the last 4 years to bring the county government as close as possible to a business entity that you can possibly get it. So we worked a little harder and worked a little harder, and some of the things that we did was we took all the capital projects except one that is really a safety concern, a major safety concern for us, and we cut them all out. We cut personnel requests. That's going to have a long-range effect when it comes to the operation of any kind of a facility added to the current corrections facility that we have. So let me just briefly go through some of these things, and then you can ask some questions. Now, changes in revenue sources. This is another thing that's been a boondoggle for us, and I know it's been a boondoggle for you, especially when it comes to taxes, real estate taxes. Our total revenue has been going down, down, down on a steady basis. Costs, as you well know, have been going up, 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 and a lot of our costs is basically what you have in your own home. So, because of the fact of the nursing home and the county corrections facility. Some of the significant changes in the revenue has been gun stock, and prior to 2011, we received a small percentage of their profits in excess of $300,000. Since 2011, we've received $175,000. Registry of Deeds, a transfer of tax, was as high as $821,000 back in 2009, and now we're hoping we can get $775,000. And we're being a little aggressive on that. Restorative justice, we used to receive a grant from the state for approximately $25,000 to offset the cost of this program, and this ended in 2010. The nursing home Medicaid revenues are down approximately $500,000 since 2009, and that is one of the reasons why we made some administrative changes, and we've started direct billing any department in the county that has a direct support for the county jail or the county nursing home. We've taken part of the administrative, the finance costs, and some of the other administrative costs that are definitely attributed to each one of those departments, and we've actually applied those to those departments. So you'd see a line item in those departments for those administrative services that we provide. And in the nursing home, when it comes, that's significant in the nursing home because of the fact that as your costs go up, so does your Medicaid reimbursement go up. So that's one of the reasons that we did that, to try to get as much money back into the county as we could possibly get. The fund balance, it continues to deteriorate. We're utilizing a consistent $2 million in 2014. Projections show that the access to this tax rate stabilizer, if you will not be available within 2 or 3 years. One of the things that you have to remember about the fund balance, and I'm sure you're well aware of it, is the fact that when your investors, Moody's or whoever, say that they want a certain amount in your fund balance for a favorable borrowing rate, interest rate, you really have to try to meet that, because there's going to come a point in time where they're going to start decreasing you. And that's going to be very costly in the long run, especially if you have a facility that you're trying to build, as we are, community correction system, or if there's an addition needed for the jail, or if we ever had to do that courthouse work that we did with the stimulus money, which didn't cost us anything, then, that would greatly affect the cost of that project. So we're seeing that going down, and it's not going to be available because we're having to use more of it and more of it. The expenditures program, the significant changes is the county attorney personnel costs have increased. The administrative personnel and legal costs have increased this service, and reduced training. We've reduced training by half, cut travel expenses, office expenses, etc. The IT remains consistent. We're eliminating $35,000 for county-wide police sheriff's software, and we're maintaining the police, the PC replacement program. We're trying to, anyways. Deeds, personnel costs increases. Maintenance, total contained by eliminating new equipment purchases. The Sheriff's Department, we increased, there's been an increase in personnel costs. We've eliminated one vehicle from the lease program and eliminated additional part-time deputy, special ops tactic vests, and 2 radar units. Corrections, all the costs over there are increasing like crazy. Restorative justice, we converted one part-time position to a full-time position. This service has a direct impact on the reducing the jail population, which is another major goal. Health and Human Services, cost has increased by the state by about $230,000. And capital projects, as I said, we've pushed off all of them except one, and that one is a security system for the, am I right? Yeah, the security system. Right?
Surveillance system.
Surveillance system for the jail and the county complex especially. We don't have, I'm a little bit of a nut when it comes to safety of personnel. And the thing that I want to see is complete security for our personnel. We've had an incident this past year where it put our personnel, some of our personnel in danger, actually put them in danger. So it would be a lot better if we had a security system that would take care of this. As I said, personnel, we've eliminated the personnel from the request for the jail. We've eliminated those 3-4 positions.
Jail?
Yeah. Huh?
3 in the jail.
3 in the jail, yeah. Those people would have been the ones that would have maintain stability when it comes, and especially safety, when it comes to operating any kind of addition that we would want to put onto that jail. We've been considering that. Full project, a huge project, down to rental space. But you can't have any kind of add-ons, if you will, if you don't have the personnel to run it. So it's putting the whole program in jeopardy, is the fact that we've had to cut these personnel. One of the main things that I don't want to see in this society, in this environment, economic environment, is to take people, good, hardworking people, and putting them on the street. So we've done everything we possibly can do to maintain the personnel that we have. That also includes not replacing 4 positions in the nursing home. And two that are going, and 2 that haven't been filled in the last two years, I believe, so that we need. And so we haven't been replacing those people. We kind of let attrition take its toll. There's been no program changes over there, but we have had several reductions in services and equipment improvements, I should say. So basically, those are the quick down and dirty, if you will, of what we've been experiencing in the income and the outcome, if you will, of the outflow, the revenue resources and the expenditures programs. So if you have any questions.
Well, reducing the help inside the nursing home is in which part, what departments? Are you reducing it in?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
Reducing the help inside the nursing home? You guys, 4 positions or 6 positions?
4. Yeah.
Or what's the 4 positions?
There were 2 inactivities that we just decided we could do with less. We were comfortable with that. And they left through attrition, they resigned. And then this year, once we started the budget process and realized the increase we're looking at, we looked for what positions are vacant right now, and we really needed to look twice at them. So one is a nurse, and one was a cook too, it's called, in the kitchen. And both have been vacant for most of the year, possibly even longer. So it wasn't too difficult to say that we should just decide we're not filling those 2 positions. We've gone this long without them filled, we will be fine without them. So of all the things that were given up, those are not the most painful things, I dare say.
I just want to make sure nothing's being cut from the care. That's what I was getting to.
Well, this is a struggle if you have to go further than that, than what we've done. And as we said, attrition, of course, not replacing anyone that retires or leaves puts a burden on the rest. And,
So have you added people to the Department of Corrections?
no.
The 3 we were planning to add to it. 3 positions were requested by the superintendent and initially supported. The commissioners understand that the jail is understaffed as it is. But once they started looking at all the proposals from everybody, they just, rather than getting to
And why such an increase in Department of Corrections? Why such a, I mean, your actual budget was $3,089,000, and then you used $2,656,000, so you're asking for $3,392,000.
We've experienced a large increase in population. We've had people out in 3 different counties where we've had to ship people in order to hold them, and we can't do it because of the fact we're overfull, and we've been overfull for a long time. One of the things that hurts when you're putting people out of town, if you will, in another facility somewhere. We're still responsible for medical care. we're still responsible for transportation back and forth to court, especially if these people ever become pre-trial. That's a huge increase in cost. One of the things that's going to make this even worse for us is, and I know this isn't really part of the answer to your question, is PREA, when that comes in. It is actually in, and now we've got a date where we have to comply, and it's going to cost the chief money. He's going to have to address that and everything, and that's only going to exacerbate the costs of this facility. But as far as the actual answer to your question, it's just the increase in people that we've had. And another thing, too, that's happened to us is the state, rather than give a felony offender 6 years in state prison, they'll give them 3 consecutive 2-year terms to the county jail. This is a way for them to cut down their costs, to
Exactly.
throw their costs back down to
Exactly.
us. And these are just, I mean, especially medical. We've done a lot on the medical. We've got another provider for the medical services for the jail. And that's cut down some costs, actually, but unfortunately, it's just being overridden by what is done by the court systems and what is done by the state. There's nothing we can do about that. We can't stop the chief from going out and doing his job.
Nor do we want to.
Nor do we want to. Yes. Deb, is there anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I would just say that it's important to look at the year-end estimate, too, where even though we have so far only spent, I can't see clearly, but 2.6 or 2.8 million on this sheet, but we plan to spend 3.1, basically every penny that's in that budget, and even more, because all the cost of transporting inmates to other counties, we've had to board them out in other counties, and that is in our contingency line item. That's not even in this budget. So without that, we're spending every penny in here. And next year, the request is for 3.3. I should have brought my glasses in. But I would say that the biggest part of that is probably labor costs, just payroll costs. There are wage increases planned in here.
What's the wage increase?
There's a 1.6% COLA and a 3% step. There's also, and so that's impacting all retirement, payroll tax.
Is that everyone or just corrections?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Across the county?
As you know, that's, once they reach their maximum, they don't get step increases.
That's still 3%. I mean, our town has gone a long time before we got any type of merit, and last year the budget committee gave us a 2.5%. So, they don't have step. We're just trying to cut it down to a level. But how much does the employees contribute to health insurance?
5 or 6%, depending on which,
What increase did your health insurance go up this year?
13%.
And they only contribute 5 or 6%?
Did you look at doing more on that?
You gotta remember, some of these are contractual. These are union contracts, so we deal with three different unions.
When is the contract up?
They're being negotiated. We've been out of contract for a year because they're not obviously willing to give these things. So we're trying, that's certainly, but we have nothing to...
Battle with?
That's not a good position.
No, it's not. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, this negotiation process where we have public meetings, and so they're very well aware of everything in here and everything going on. Yeah, trying to convince them to give up those positions. They have status quo, which is protecting them right now from all of that, from us taking anything further away.
what reasons did you have for creating a full-time position for restorative justice? Well, it looked like those were all part-time positions, and now a full-time position will come with benefits?
That's true.
This is true. They will come with benefits, but everything's been part-time over there, including the director, and he is still part-time over there.
But why did you make one to full-time?
Why did you create the full-time?
Because the workload, and you have to balance that with what that saves us by not putting people into the jail.
How many part-timers are there?
4.
For you.
There are 4 part-timers, they work 32 hours a week, so they're,
Does that mean one of the 4 will become the full-time and you'll have 3 part-timers? Or will you go back to 4 part-timers and the full-timer?
No,
No.
no. One
3
will-
part-time,
One
1
will
full-time.
become full-time. And as I said, you have to balance that with what we save on costs by not having these folks in facility.
Do you actually have those costs? Are you able to track that enough to
Looking
have?
at it,
We
is
could track it
every one of their cases that they're keeping out of jail is, I guess we'd have to look at what would their potential sentence be and how much, if it's $100 or, no, probably more like $60 a day to have an inmate incarcerated, and if they keep them out for, I don't know what an average,
But do you track it? I mean, once they leave, once they've completed their fulfillment to restorative justice and they leave,
We could,
if they come
it's,
to jail or not.
yeah,
and then
when they come back and
I think
reoffend,
they do have those. I think restorative justice has those. We can look for those.
you wouldn't know if restorative justice was really worthwhile if you didn't track it.
well, they do track it. They have those figures, we don't have them.
So they
right
do
off.
have them.
Go ahead.
What's the percent of,
Thank you.
what's the percent of use of Medicaid monies in the House of Correction versus
Versus like the county club.
the county home?
I don't think there's any. I don't think while the inmates are incarcerated, we're,
They don't
I
get that.
thought you just said, John, that you had to, if Medicaid came into the picture, if you had to bring them someplace and if you
No,
had to have
no.
any health care.
No, their direct health care would be a cost to us. In other words, if they had to have a doctor come into their facility in Stratford County, where we've had people, if somebody, for some reason or other, whatever reasons, a doctor had to come in, or any medical care within the facility, that would come under a direct cost to us.
Are they responsible in any way, form, shape, or manner, if that brings it on to themselves, when they get out, to pay that back?
That would have to be, I would assume that's got to be part of a sentencing thing, wouldn't you think, Deborah?
only that if they should leave while still owing money for like restitution or things they may have bought through commissary, if they broke a window while they were in there or something like that. We don't wipe the slate clean, unfortunately, because we're likely to see them back and we might collect it then. But they're under no obligation that I'm aware of to pay back society, their community, for the money while they were incarcerated.
So, let me get this right.
Shame.
They do a crime,
Yeah.
they come in to do their time, they cause more problems, which costs us more money, and they're not responsible to pay it back?
Don't
for the
forget the
more.
flat screens while they're there.
Only for the more. I think it's basically that their time is they're paying back for their initial crime, but I don't think unfortunately, we don't have a way to,
So with your budget, we're going to have to budget more to make up for the acts they're going to commit while they're in there.
well, the acts, if they do anything while they're in there, like break a window or I don't even know if they could order more than they have for commissary. But those would be very small amounts, and if they owe us those are not wiped off the slate. Those we're more likely to collect. I thought you were asking, are they responsible for paying like room and board?
No, I'm talking about medical bills.
Oh, medical bills, they are not paying any of that.
Of
No.
course they're not. Why would
Right.
they?
They're not paying any medical.
That's why some of them in November, 1st of November, go out and break a plate glass window so they can come back and visit us for the
Well, they
winter.
come back, some of them come back because you've got a big screen TV in one of the rooms up there. They love that room.
Oh, no, they don't.
Oh, yes, they do.
Something-
I can tell you right now, they do. I'm going to ask the big question, because I'm sure somebody else has asked the big question. You have $500,000, a little over $500,000 cut out of your budget because of Lake Region Mutual Aid. So your 4% increase is really not 4%, it's a little higher if you add in the $500,000 that was taken out for Lakes Region Mutual Aid billing, correct?
Yes.
What's the percentage?
I don't know the percentage.
The Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid was passed through, so the effect was not there, because whatever was figured on the expenditure side was taken out on the income side. So really, when you
You
get
still had to
down,
raise and appropriate it, correct?
only, that's a direct billing to the town.
Right, but you still had to put it in your budget and raise and
Yeah,
appropriate it.
but, yes, but
So your budget accurately reflects that you're going up 4%. Well, you took out $500,000 because now you're not billing them anymore, and it's not a pass-through. Lakes Region Mutual Aid is direct billing them to the town. So you, conceivably, a lot of people would think that your budget would be down $500,000. Instead, it's up 4%. So if you add that other $500,000 in there, it's probably way up above 4%. It's probably up in the 6 or 7%, not necessarily 4% like you're telling us.
instead of the towns paying us directly, the towns, instead of the taxpayers in each town paying us directly, the taxpayers in each town are now transferring that money directly to mutual aid.
I get that
The
part.
accounting part didn't figure in really when you go right back to the original budget, we'll say last year's budget. That $500,000 of 444, whatever it was just not, basically, it wasn't there, so it really wasn't figured into the amount to be raised by taxes.
Do you have a line item in your budget last year for
Absolutely.
Lakes Region Mutual Aid?
Absolutely.
It was there then?
It was a line item, but if you looked on the,
Hey.
if you looked on the income side, you saw a corresponding line item for income, so that was not figured. I don't think that you can figure that as part of the amount to be raised by taxes, because it was a complete pass-through. We were accountants, and that was it. That's all we were accountants for that
But you
whole
did
thing.
But
receive
if,
it
in
as
that
taxes.
respect,
That's how you
in what
raised and
you're saying to
appropriated
me right now, this budget that we have right now should be $554,000 less if that was just a pass-through. It's not, because it's not $554,000 less. You took out Lakes Region Mutual Aid line item, and
Yeah,
if
we
it were
did.
only a pass-through, and that's all you used it for, then this budget should be $554,000 less. It's not.
No, this budget reflects the expenses that we have requested, that we have today. Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid doesn't play into this at all.
I totally get that, but you're saying you're going up on your budget by 4%. It's not really a 4% increase. It's a much larger increase.
But there wouldn't have been any increase to Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid either last year because of the fact that it was a pass-through. So your tax rate isn't based,
What was our
it is,
total-
your tax rate is, go ahead, Deb.
I would just say that the budget is definitely 4% increased over last year's budget. In a strictly numeric look at the last year's budget, this year's budget, it's 4% increase. So that is true and factual. Now, if you want to look at it differently and take out Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid and then calculate the increase, it will definitely be bigger than 4%.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. And the reason for that, I would say, part of it, if no other costs in the county had increased, if none of our costs next year were going to be more than they were this year, then you'd probably see a level-funded budget. It would probably be exactly less, $500,000 for Lake Sturgeon Mitchell Fire Aid. But even though that cost went down, all the other costs continue going up. I'm sure that happens in your budget. If one bill, I guess if PSNH lowered their rates, all your other bills are going up still. And that's what's happened on the county level. That's the only, I guess that's the only way I can explain to look at it. It definitely is an increase. Things are going to cost more in 2014 than they did in 2013, even though we don't have to pay for Lake Sturgeon Mutual Fire Aid anymore. That is the truth of the matter.
But, okay. Scott, you have a question?
Can I ask a question about this, because this is one of the reasons I came down? You're saying, last year, if you took our budget in the county last year, the mutual aid was figured within the county budget, so we paid it through our county taxes. This year, we're paying the county taxes, which you're looking for an increase for this coming year, and we're also going to look at an increase in our town because we're going to pay $4,000 more than we paid for the amount in our county taxes.
Correct.
So to sit there and say it's only a 4% increase is not factually true, because if you looked at the line items you had last year, you had X, and you came up with a certain, whatever it was, 32 million or whatever it was, the number. And in that number, you had 500 or whatever the number was for the Lakes Region Mutual Aid. Now this year, the taxpayers of Belknap County are being asked to pay 4% more, but also take the $500,000 and put it on your town's taxes. So it's a much greater increase than 4%.
Well,
Let's be fair with the people.
That is not correct. Because if you take the county's budget last year, 2013,
Yeah.
the total number is I don't know what it is, 26 million, whatever it is. In 2014, it's 26 million again. It is a 4% mathematical calculation. It is 4% more.
Yes, on the
Okay.
county side, but I'm paying for, now I'm going to be asked to pay for that $500,000, or the
North share,
residents of
whatever.
Belknap County through the towns now. So basically what he was talking about before, the state's shifting it down to the county shifting it now down to the poor local taxpayer of the towns.
Right.
And yet, it's still going up at the county level. So in factual, we are getting more than a 4% increase
Well,
for
one
the
of the
same
things,
services.
one of
If
the
you
things
look at all
y'all,
your taxes, that's true.
Yeah, now we're paying for a town, but our county tax is still going up, as Deb said, by 4%.
Right, regardless of Lake Sturgeon Mutual Fire
That's
Aid,
right.
the county costs are going up 4%.
Yep.
And if you added Lake Sturgeon Mutual Fire Aid, add that $500,000 back in, then it might be, 6 or 7%.
That's right, whatever that percentage,
Right, and
500,000
some
equals the
taxpayers, if you
total.
looked at all your taxes, depending which town you live in, some are paying less for Lake Sturgeon Mutual Fire Aid, and some are paying more.
Tilton's paying more.
Right, so I'm sorry.
And so in
that-
essence, when I look at my tax bill, which has everything, when it has the county and the town, I'm being asked as a citizen of Tilton to pay more for the same services I had the year before.
but we don't have any control over that.
I understand that, I
Yeah.
totally understand
Yeah.
that. But what I'm saying is, when we look at the increase of what the services we received last year compared to the services we're receiving this year, we're being asked to pay more for this coming year. More than 4%, because now it's fallen, 500,000 is fallen back to the towns, as opposed to being paid by the county. The 500,000 for mutual aid, it was paid in our county taxes, now it's being
Paid in
divvied
the-
up amongst the towns.
Towns, yeah.
So some towns might pay less, John. You're
Yes,
100%
yeah.
correct on that, the ones that had a reduction.
But Tilton's paying more.
Tilton
Tilton is paying
you're
more,
talking
yeah.
to Tilton Selectmen, and Tilton, they're looking at an increase of $4,000 for the same service.
Right. And we're looking at an increase in the county budget. So it's double
Do you
more
have,
to us.
Deb, do you have the comparisons with you, as far as the year by year since 2008 up? Do you have that with you?
I brought a copy of the, one for you and one for the board, if you want to leave one with them. That was the
Definitely do.
presentation the other night.
Yeah, this is a presentation the other night.
And there's some good information in there about the fund balance and comparing the tax rates of 2008 or 9 to now.
What's your fund balance right now?
You say it was like 2 million?
About 3 million.
Yeah, 3.2.
What does the recommendation to have for fund balance?
5 or 6 million.
Okay. Here's the tax, also in this packet, you'll find the tax impact, 2012, 2014. Do you have the one that goes back to 2008? Do you know where I'm going with that? His effective county tax rate has not changed since 2008.
Here, this thing, it's in the page.
It's in the
Look
first-
at the page, it's in. Yeah, there you go.
So
Yeah,
the-
2008 to 2014, but for,
What is the HVAC control corrections? That's $60,000 that you're going to do for capital improvement, and what was that?
that's the HVAC controllers. The controllers all have to work together. Some of the controllers that we have there are just basically non-functioning, and they have to be replaced. Just have to be
That's being
replaced.
done in this 2000.
In
Yeah.
213, right?
213.
So next year, you're putting in a surveillance system, is that just corrections?
No.
That's
no.
everywhere.
Especially the administrative wing. That's where the problems came.
Now, is this cameras, or is this just, okay?
Cameras and recording, I don't know if they're really DVRs or whatever they are, but they're recording the nursing home, the sheriff's department, the jail, and that whole complex.
And who's going to oversee that?
That'd be
Facilities manager
facilities, yeah.
eventually will, but there's been a committee of the jail superintendent, the sheriff, the facilities manager, and the nursing home administrator have been working on it for 2 or 3 years, actually.
Who's going to be in charge of looking at tapes if there's something that needs to be?
Each department
Each has their own?
Yeah.
Okay.
And as we need them for personnel, any investigations, the sheriff has access to all of them, depending on what they're for.
So as you can see by this, the expenditures in 2008 for the county, the total appropriation was $29,725,000. This year, it's $26,570,000. That's what we have recommended, the commissioners have recommended. And the amount to be raised by taxes throughout the county is $14,271,000 in 2008 compared to $14,445,000.
2008,
2008,
it was 14,000,
271.
okay.
That's 6 years ago. So basically, we're trying to operate on the same thing. And our costs are going up, unfortunately. And our income is going down. We really have an income problem and not an expenditure problem.
I was just going to ask you, in 2008, did you use fund balance
That I can't tell you.
Yeah,
to
you
Did
reduce
we?
to?
you can see it on that sheet, down near the bottom, we used $2 million.
No, that was for this year. I meant in 2008.
2008, we used $2 million also.
Okay, that was my question.
Yeah,
Yeah,
here it
it's
is.
the third
So
line
it
up.
truly is comparative.
Yes.
Do you find that you have a lot of funding? Do you ever get American Elders funding? Anything from the older American Elders Act?
Not that I am aware.
You don't get any of that?
How do we get it?
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Federal. State,
We do have
honest,
American Elders, I know.
I know, that's why I asked, because I know a lot of the,
Is that,
like CAP gets a lot of it. CAP gets a lot of federal funding from there, but it's been cut a lot the last year. So I just wanted to know how, if that affected you as well, because it has affected the way that they give out the food program, the programs that they do, and
that would be more applicable to the people that we would have in the nursing home but are really on home care?
right,
Yeah.
home care.
Home care, yeah.
Right.
And that's a small percentage.
Right.
Yeah. So even if we did get
Right.
some, it wouldn't be too much, I don't think. Am I right, Ben? We don't have a whole lot of people out there that would be in a nursing home, but at home care.
Well, the ones that we do have, we are paying for.
Yeah, we are paying for it.
About $5.5 million. It's significant in our,
In your budget.
So how do we get this?
Your representative, the State Council on Aging, should be able to help you with that.
Who would that be now?
I'll send you a link. No, but there's funding. I don't know that if it trickles down to the county, it does go down to the state. It must trickle down to some type
if
of
it goes to
county.
the state, they're going to keep their share of it. And it's probably some administrative cost that
That is a shock.
Yes, Dennis, can you help us with that?
I'll see what I can do.
Well, see what you do with getting it.
Yeah, I'll check with the nursing home administrator, because if it comes directly, it may come directly to them, and,
I still want my grand tour of House of Corrections.
oh, when do you want
Anytime.
it?
When do you want it?
Name you a day.
You name it.
I really do want it. It's my pet peeve. I think that if you do the crime, you should pay the price, and I don't really think that you should be up there with a big TV, and I hear stories that they come out of there. I gotta tell you, I have one living with me right now, came out, was
Wish
in a
they could
room
go
with
back.
was in a room with 5 people with a big screen TV and a shower. I was like, whoa, how's that happen?
Does the shower work?
I don't know, it did.
Well, if you're in a hurry to go, just break a window, we can arrange it.
Not
How
me.
are you with improving that facility? Are you
There's
cut-
basically, we're just doing whatever we can, wherever we can, because
Just
the
Band-Aiding
facility, yeah, it's
But I mean,
basically,
no, I
it
mean
is.
the
The project?
your battle
The jail.
that you're
Oh,
waging
that's-
to,
That's going to have to just wait for a while. We're still working on it. We still have committee meetings every 2 weeks.
Good.
Every other Tuesday.
You're
we
not
have
giving
our
up on
committee.
it.
We're not giving up on it. We can't, because sooner or later, the last thing you want to see is the Bureau of Prisons coming down and telling you what you're going to build.
Right.
That's the last thing
so we
you
need
want
to change the
yeah.
flavor of our county bench.
And if anything, that'll put a spark
election
under...
time again?
Yeah, November. Anything that'll put a spark under the Bureau of Prisoners will be too many violations of that PREA.
Really?
Then we'll be wasting money.
Absolutely.
paying fines.
Absolutely. That is just, I dread seeing that coming, I really do.
Not more than me.
I know.
Not more than me. I don't want to have to pay for somebody's comfort while they're in jail. I just have a problem with that. I really do.
But the
Well-
current facility we have
Some of them
Is-
don't, I
is-
get it. But there are
is
some
so
up there.
inadequate. And I think it's a hazard to the employees that work there.
Oh, I totally get that.
I think you're on the right track. I think that what you're doing is commendable.
I rode in a ski patrol rescue sled once, and I can't imagine sleeping in that thing on a permanent basis. That's what they have.
Really.
Pretty much.
Well, I have to come up and see it.
Anytime,
I've been
please,
up the
please
nursing home.
do.
I haven't been
Yeah.
around, but I've been up.
Please do
Love
come
it.
up.
Absolutely love it.
They have a hell of a
I've gone
staff.
up with,
Over in our offices, over in the,
I've gone up
and I
to,
wasn't there.
no, I've gone up there a couple of times to let you know that I was up there and just to see if you needed anything with state council, whatever.
You were right down at the door.
And I walked over, I was up there with some music. I was with the
Oh,
lady
yeah.
that played the music, pianist Betty.
I think you should come to one of our county meetings.
I think you should all come.
No, my blood would,
Oh, I think we should too.
I think my blood would boil at
Your
one of
blood
those.
pressure would go up?
Oh, that would boil.
Do they let the public speak?
Is there anything else that we can get?
I wouldn't be able to control myself.
Is there anything else we can
No,
get?
I think we have one more question from the audience. Scott, did you have a question?
Scott?
Where do we stand with gun stock mountain? I mean, does it make money for the county? Does it cost us? Are we subsidizing it? Where do we stand?
No, it makes money for the county. Years ago, I can't remember how many years ago, but gunstock, of course, being a county facility, regardless of what you did with it, we would still be responsible for any kind of bonding or anything like that. And the biggest bond thing was that big water line project, if you remember that. And what they came up with an idea for us, and what happened was we took over the bonding. That bond, we took it over. When we took it over, we accelerated the payment of the bond. And if I remember correctly, and Dennis, you were there around at that time also, I believe we ended up saving the taxpayer, and don't quote me on this, but it was like somewhere around $1.6 million in interest over the period of that bond that we would have had to pay. And for that, they would give us, if I remember right, it was $100,000, no, these figures may be wrong, but it was $100,000 a year right off the top of their operation. And if their profit level went to a certain, above that, went to a certain amount, they would give us some more. And if it went another step higher, they would give us some more. And I don't remember the actual figure.
And the money went to offset the debt, or?
No, the money went to the county. That was income for the county at that point in time. I believe, has that stopped now,
Yes,
Dad? That is stopped.
they don't contribute to the county. They don't
Or
pay
even on the
money
side.
for the county. They give us $175,000
She bought one.
and there's no longer a sharing in the profits. The profits are theirs, and the good they do for the county is through economic development and tourism.
But now when they go out for a new project, they'll bond themselves?
No.
Or they'll bond
No.
through the county?
No, they'll bond through us.
Through us?
Yeah,
And
because
we only get
the county owns a,
$175,000.
the county owns a facility anyway.
Yes.
So we don't pay their debt service, they'll pay.
They pay the debt
They
service?
pay,
Yes.
they just
Okay.
need to go
So
get permission of
The
the
debt's not, the money's borrowed through the county, bonded through the county, but paid back through their fees.
That's correct. That's correct.
Now, one other question, and this is why I came down. With the mutual fire aid dispatch, a concern I've had, and I'm going to bring it up with the selectmen today, and I was going to ask you about the county, with the dispatch. The county has its own dispatch through the sheriff's department, right? Now, those people, what are they on for a retirement system? Are they on one or two?
Question.
Group one or group two?
I'm not sure
I
if,
don't think they're,
civilian employees, I'm
yeah,
wondering
I
if
don't think
civilian
they're
employees,
in the
rather,
police.
like the
What do
police.
police think? Group
One.
Police are in group
Two.
Yeah,
Okay,
but-
dispatch is one.
Okay,
Yeah.
and that was the problem, and I'll bring it up now, because the selectmen are here, but the problem I've had with the fire dispatch is all of those people that work for the dispatch up there in Group 2. And with the increase, it's up to 27 or some odd % now for the retirement. It's huge.
I know,
It's
I
huge, and
wish,
yet they're not, as Bob just stated, his dispatch in town are on one, and yet all of the dispatch up there are on two. And I can never figure that out. Why is that?
that's something that I guess is really going to have to be taken up with them, because county-wise, we have no control of that. Maybe the towns, as the chief being on the board of directors of the town, maybe the various chiefs can get together and do something about that, or change that.
No, I clearly understand that. And I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't county employees that were on two
No,
also.
no.
They're all on one,
They're on one.
or as far as
They're on one.
non-service. Thank you.
All right,
Anything else?
thank you for your time.
No, thank you. Thank you for listening to us.
holidays
and-
to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas. Yes.
Thank you for starting out in Tilton.
Happy New Year.
Good luck.
Dennis, always good to see you. Thank you for coming.
Welcome.
I have some of these other,
Oh, good.
might be enough.
Thank you.
Thank you. What do I get to get this time?
Whatever you would like.
Anyone you like.
Thank you.
Pick two. Thank
I want to grab one from yours, too.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right.
You want me to give you back one?
Nope, you go right ahead. They're good.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, take care.
Remember, I'm just a phone call away when you need my help.
Alrighty.
Ian couldn't come. He had another commitment. He was just
I'm not sure if y'all are.
You know, somebody shot out his windows at his workplace last night.
How about scanning that too, please?
Yeah, and
All boarded up.
On Laconia?
BB guns, I guess somebody went by with BB guns and shot out the windows. A whole bunch of them out through there.
That must have been random. He's such a nice man.
Anyway, so he would have come, but I was talking to him this afternoon. We'll see you later.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Tilton's paying through Tilton. It's 4,000.
Night, Chief.
Night, Vince.
I might as well continue my question. Now that the town, that we're paying it through our town's taxes, we have a vote on the Lakes Region Fire Dispatch for the town, right?
Yes.
Because we're a member.
We're a member, correct.
Separate, not the fire district, it's the town.
That's correct.
We've always had that
We've
vote.
always had that vote.
always
Always,
had that?
always.
It's been the town's vote, not the
We-
fire district.
And we chose our representative to be Chief Ober. We chose, be Steve Carrier. We chose that member to be that person. And now, we just voted a few weeks ago for our member representation to be Tim Joubert.
So how are we going to address the fact that they're paying dispatch up there? They're on Group 2? Because I don't think it's fair as a taxpayer.
We can bring that to our representative.
Really don't, because they're not going out and fighting a fire, they're not putting themselves in the line of duty. They're sitting there dispatching, no different than Terry does at the PD. You know, and I don't think it's fair, I don't think it's, and it's a huge difference.
Well, it's 27.74%
I don't know.
versus 18-something, correct?
Right,
Right.
there is a difference.
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
Yeah, it is a huge
percentage
difference, right.
And I just don't think that's fair to the taxpayers who are going to be fair.
I totally get it.
So I hope that our representative is willing to bring it up.
Well,
That's my point.
If everybody's in agreement, we
I
can ask Joyce to get in touch with them and bring it up at our next meeting,
Right.
and next Lakes Region Mutual Aid
We're going to
meeting.
be looking at the cost, and we're looking at an increase in Tilton, and that's why I wanted to make sure that they were understanding that, you know, Tilton taxpayers are paying more for this,
Right.
where they're coming out of the county and going to the local towns.
You know what I found, Scott, the best way to deal with the Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid is, you know, deal with their executive director. But if you want to get the word out to all the membership, is to send letters directly to the governing bodies. It's the governing bodies that pick their representative.
Okay, but,
And all the representatives are fire chiefs.
but yeah.
No, not necessarily, because Northfield is Steve Bloom.
Okay,
Majority.
but the
So
trouble
make sure
is,
that information's going from governing body to governing body.
as a citizen, I mean, and it came out when the talk was pulling out of the county, okay?
Right.
But as a citizen, you never know when their meetings are. I never see them posted on anywhere. It's never posted here in town,
No,
that there's going to be a meeting of that group.
if you go on their website, it's posted.
Yeah, but do we ever post it on our website when their meeting's going to be?
No.
I think it'd be
People
nice
send
to,
us something,
especially when
we
we're
post.
paying it in our taxes now. You know, so that the citizens are aware. I think we didn't pay much attention to it, you know, it's like they're talking about with a $32 million budget, and you've got a $500,000 line or whatever, for the Lakes Region Mutual Fire Aid. People just, you overlook it because it's in that big budget.
Right.
Right.
Understanding alone. Okay,
No, I totally agree with that.
thank you.
That's fine, because that came up last night at the budget committee.
What's that?
That came up last night at the budget committee,
Right.
so they're aware.
Good, good.
So, Group 1 is $10.77%, and Group 2, Police, is $25.30. Group
The
2,
fire's different.
Fire is $27.74.
27.7.
So that's 17% more.
Yep.
2000, so, you know, you're going from Group 1, employees,
And
well,
remember,
it says employees, teachers, so it's not really it says in Group 1, employees, teachers, so if dispatch is in within that group of employees, it's 10.77, and then fire is 27.74 for 2015 as well.
and remember, Pat, most of their budget is all labor. It's salaries.
Yep.
The whole budget. So if you look at whatever that line is, I imagine it's much different.
Yep.
What it should be.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
Scott, I'll give you a call in the morning.
Yeah, give me a call, Sandy.
Okay.
I have a meeting at 5:30 with our new officer, Richard, to get him enrolled in all of our benefits. So keep an eye on the time. Where'd we leave off?
With the Tootsie Roll.
I have a question on these payables.
Yep.
So I'm looking at,
2012 encumbered monies,
yeah,
the VES,
from Riley's, they were ordered
back in,
12/28/12.
us.
they never billed them.
Dude, oh, okay, because they,
sent the bill.
I was gonna say, did you get them on
They got them, but they,
January 27th?
Yeah. They never sent the bill. So, we were going up with the billing, and I said, what the heck is this? Him and I both, we never got the bill, it never came through the system.
I'd like to have a business right in it, because that's a pretty good substantial amount of money.
Yeah.
That answered it, thank you, Chief.
Evidently, they didn't need it.
Well, I was gonna say, maybe we shouldn't send it to them.
Just saying.
Statute of limitations on billing?
we could try,
We're almost a year later.
just about.
Well, you know, I said to certain,
Tell 'em they're
same thing
worn
about
out.
a certain somebody that didn't cash their check. Remember that? I said, and he came in several years later wanting a new check.
That's
And I
right.
said, don't give it to him, it's not our fault if he did.
That's right.
That's Joe's.
I've forgotten about that, I remember now.
I had asked Greg to send me something for 16 Prospect Street. He sent this back in end of November, and we just haven't had a chance to talk about it yet. So we have our agreement from when we did Beach Street. So these would be entered on the agreement document that we've used in the past. But what he is suggesting is that we do not have a minimum price. In the Beach Street, we had a minimum price of $115,000. And he'll come in and talk with you. That's my next question, is when can he come in and talk with you?
Did you give me a reason why?
Sooner the better.
The next thing, he said he'd do it for a flat fee. In the other agreement, it was 5% of the sale price.
Yep.
This is a flat 1,000. And we need to set a date in January. Now, he's saying sales after unsuccessful auction not applicable. In the prior agreement, it said if owner, within 6 months after the date of an unsuccessful attempt to auction the property hereunder, sells or agrees to sell or otherwise transfer the property to any registered bidder attending the auction, owner shall pay to the auctioneer a commission in the amount specified in Section 3. He's saying we don't have to do that, so we can strike that.
I think I would want a minimum, but I want to hear from him what his reasoning is.
And since it's going to be bidding, I'm wondering if we can do that in non-public, because we don't want to tip our hand
Right.
when we're trying to get the best price.
Yep.
Agree?
Setting a bit minimum, you mean, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we really can't do anything here without talking to him.
Right, but I'm just giving you what he sent me.
right.
Except pick a date.
I say
Now-
as soon as possible, we gotta get that thing sold.
Right, and then the other thing, he said attendance and sales agreement not applicable, title not applicable, irrevocable agreement not applicable, but we had all those in our agreements. I'd like to leave those in. So, when do you want to get them in?
I said, can we get it, are you going, was the decision made to clean it out or no?
Yes, it was, but that's the next thing I want to talk about.
Okay, well, if we can get it situated, I would say 11/11/13, that's a good number.
11.
1/11/13,
Oh, 1/11/13.
1/11/13.
Oh, wait, will we have everything done that we need to do by
What
then?
about 1/12/13?
I don't think,
That's Sunday.
Oh, okay.
well, this is what I want to propose for the clean out. I have numerous people I can call, whether or not they'll all be able to provide a certificate of insurance. I don't know, but that will be one of the requirements. I spoke with Dennis, and we spoke with Best Way, because right now, since we own the property, it's our refuse, and we're responsible for how and where it's disposed, and we want to have it disposed at the least amount of cost as possible. So that, since we already have an agreement with Best Way where they give us containers and give us a certain price to haul it either to the incinerator or to their facility in Belmont, where they just dump everything on the floor and they pick it out and take it to where it has to go. I think they take it to Bethlehem. That they would give us we can have two 30-yard roll-offs. Originally thought a 30-yard and a 15-yard, but Dennis said we should go with two 30-yard roll-offs that can both fit in the driveway. Yep. Now, we will need to have supervision, and Dennis agreed that his guys, will all take turns making sure that somebody's there all the time. So all we're going to be asking whoever's going to be cleaning it out is that they're just responsible for taking material out of the building and putting it in the appropriate container. If it's a burnable, going to the incinerator, and we'll have this all written down for them. If it's something like porcelain or metal or things that would have to go to the landfill, that would go in the other container. If there's things that they think that they can take out themselves and sell on their own with their own little truck, like the appliances, things, because we would have to pay for it anyway. So if they wanted to take the refrigerator, the dishwasher, whatever, and they can sell it for something, fine, let them. But if not, it's got to be cleaned. All has to be cleaned out. As far as any hazardous materials, again, we have a list because we know what can't be taken to the incinerator, that they would be instructed that when you go down the basement stairs, there's a door where you can go out to the back of the building. I don't know if that area is cleared out, if you can get in through that door. But in that space down there, when they come across paints and stains and aerosol cans and everything, all they have to do is just put it in one spot. So that when we bring people through the building, they'll say, well, what's the hazardous waste? We can say, this is the material that whoever buys the building, they're responsible for removing those products. It would be very clear that anything that is attached or fixed to the building,
I have a question. Why wouldn't we remove them?
the hazardous waste,
Yeah.
because we'd have to call someone like Enpro and pay them thousands of dollars to bring their special trucks and Tyvek suits. Well, not just Enpro, there are other companies to take it, or we wait until Household Hazardous Waste Day in July of 2014, and even then, they require, there's limits that you can bring.
So what do we do? How do we know what's there?
We don't. That's
don't.
why the person who's cleaning it out,
So
they'll have a
I say
list of
that
what's
we-
considered hazardous and what is not
We look at
hazardous.
what's, before we decide that the buyer pays for it, let's look and see what we have. If it's just cans of paint and, there's no DDT.
Right, well, latex paint, you can, if you take the lids off and let it air dry,
out.
right.
Right, that we should just take it over and store it somewhere on the Public Works property, because it's just going to detract from the sale of the property if we say, you're going to get rid of the household hazardous waste. I mean, it sounds horrific if it's just paint and acetone and paint thinner.
How much is there, I don't know.
Right.
We won't know until when they're going through all the nooks and crannies of the building, just to put it in one
I'm
spot.
just saying, let's hold the decision to pass that cost on to the buyer.
Okay.
Until we see what's there.
Okay.
Now you were saying if it's attached.
Oh, anything that is attached to the house, light fixtures, wiring, plumbing, copper tubing, it's up to you with the furnace. I mean, do you want them to take the furnace away if they think they can get some money for the metal?
Well, just so we don't go in there and find that they pulled down the 10 ceilings and all the beautiful
Right.
woodwork and.
All that has to stay. And anything, if they come across anything that's original to the building, like if they find shutters or things like that that go with the house, that they should leave those, or stiles or things like that, to anything that's,
I don't see a reason why you take the furnace out.
Let them,
Any reason why what?
Why would you take the furnace out?
well, there's 2 furnaces in there. Both need to be replaced.
Yeah,
But that's,
they're dead.
I'm just thinking, when they go in there, because for them to give a quote, they've got to look and see what's in there, because they're figuring out, okay, what can they their price for cleaning, they're thinking, well, what can I take from here that I can sell? And that's why we need to have somebody be there to watch while they're doing it.
I wouldn't have them take the furnaces out.
Okay.
I think,
And the other piece is the, what used to be the barn, that, they're to stay completely out of that. So I'd like to have Dennis, like, they can completely tape that area off so they know they're not to go in there. This is too much of a hazard. But that back room to get into where the kitchen is, that can all be cleaned out. And the attic, you went up in the attic, was there anything up there? Nothing up there, good. So with your permission, I'd like to go ahead and drop a scope of services and call these people, and they'll want to go walk through it to see. But I think we really have to require a certificate of insurance.
Oh, yes, definitely.
And if they're using their cousin or their nephew or somebody to help them do it, then they've got to have, it's either that or we hire them as employees. It's up to you guys.
Certificate of insurance. Certificate of insurance.
Yeah.
I don't want to hire them as an employee.
Neither do I.
Yep.
I'm not paying anybody to get rid of something I'm already paying for.
And you don't let Joe go in there again. In a couple of weeks.
I think most of the material can go in the bin for incineration.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
think a lot of that can be, and, you know.
Well, there's still a great deal of very nice things up there.
Yes, there's a lot of stuff still in
There's
there.
rooms of
So-
very nice things in there.
Yeah.
That back room that I started on, and I couldn't because I was
You should have seen her. I thought she was going to die before we could get her out of there.
inhaling the
Yeah.
dust that was there.
Yeah.
But they're all in very nice, workable, really nice things.
Yep.
That back room upstairs.
But like there's, but there's like bookshelves and things like that, all right, then,
No, they're not.
I mean, but anything that isn't attached to the building, they can take, whatever they think they can.
That stuff is resellable. There's a lot of that in that room that somebody could resell.
Right.
Even if it were in a bulk, they could resell it to another person that does,
Yep.
resells it or consignment or something like that.
But I think we need to know what they are able to take that they can resell, because that will affect their
Everything's
price.
But I mean, there are all boxes and tubs of things, that all can be taken out. That's not attached to the house at all.
It's not attached.
I mean, there's just, there are boxes and boxes of empty wooden frames,
Right.
Well, the more they
they're
can,
not attached to the house.
right,
They're
the
not-
more they can take that they can resell,
Right,
that costs us less money.
right.
Right. Well, there's a lot of stuff, I couldn't believe the amount of new stuff in its original packs, still in cellophane. 10, 12, 14 of them, just sitting in boxes.
Okay.
So I would think there would be a lot, depending on what they do with it, whether they
I
resell
throw
it
everything
themselves or they
my house
resell it
now
bulk
at
to someone else.
Away. I don't save it. Everything happens to me, I'm not.
I've still been,
Anybody go to my house and look at that.
I'm still on a tear to get rid of every bit of clutter. It's going
Oh,
to
I
take me a
know.
long time.
I'm still working on my landlords. It's been left.
All right, so any other advice that you can give me?
Wait, everybody got a calendar in front of you? About 111, 118, 125?
Well, we have to check with him. He just left that date open, some Saturday in January.
Well, we can go, here's our preference, 1, 2, and 3.
Okay, well, he has to have some time to advertise.
So we can go, our preference is 125. What do you think?
whatever works, the sooner the better.
Second, yeah, whichever one of those dates works
All
for
right.
him,
Okay,
11, 18, or 25.
They're all on a Saturday, aren't they?
Yep.
yep.
Not the 4th, too many people will be still feeling the 1st.
So do you want me to take what he's put in here and put it in our document, so that you'll have a document to go over with him?
Yeah.
There's something going on in the senior center,
So you
11th,
put 111,
on the 11th.
118?
Yeah.
Or 125?
okay?
On January 11th? No, December 11th.
January 11th. Something. Put it in there for some reason.
1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16,
Really, I don't have that in there, Al.
16, 17, some of these might be duplicates, 17,
When you
18,
find out, let me know.
different places, people I can contact, 18, 19. And whether or not they're qualified or not, I don't know. And then we've completely given up on having the building inspected, because we did, I mean, really isn't, it can be as is, where is.
Did the plumber that came and looked at it about closing up the window?
Yeah, he took care of that, yeah, and there's no fuel oil.
Okay.
The person inspected that, and he said that it's not worth fixing. The water company, the water's been shut off, and they understand that we're not responsible for any back water that's due.
What is due?
He didn't tell me.
We should get that information,
Well, technically, it's the buyer's,
but we should still know what it is.
if they ever want to get water turned on.
They have to pay it? The prior people?
But the buyer should know
Yeah.
this,
It should be disclosed.
right? So we should know.
Well, we should disclose things that we are readily aware of.
No,
It's still,
And we're readily aware of that.
you're right.
well, we can say, yes, there's past due water bill, but why would we want to get involved in that? It's not our,
Because otherwise it'd be deceiving.
no, it's up to them to do their due diligence and we're as is, where is. This is as much as we know that we're telling you. Yes, there's past due water. There's a past due water bill from the prior owner.
I'm not concerned.
Here's the phone number. You can find out what
I guess
it
I'm
is.
just a little more honest than that.
We are being honest. We're saying there's a past due water bill.
It's as is.
We're going to be honest about what's owed for taxes.
It's the other way around.
I don't agree, but
You're
okay.
usually saying
Let's put it this way.
we
If you were
shouldn't be in
selling,
this.
if you were selling a truck, right, as is, as seen, as shown.
As we're-
Would you go through that whole truck completely and list everything that's wrong with that truck?
I did.
And then tell them?
Yeah.
I did. I got a screaming deal when I sold it. Remember the brown truck, the red door on the gas cap?
Okay.
It was embarrassing.
All right.
So just, town hall masonry, this is what I would propose for our wall here. I had a wonderful conversation with a very reputable local contractor who has a wonderful reputation for being able to look at situations and solve problems. And what I had asked him, I said, we're really in a quandary here because we get so many different recommendations and ranges of estimates on what actually needs to be done there. So what he offered is, he would be willing, we'd pay him by the hour, because it would take some time, over time, to go and visually inspect what's happening in different weather, when it's raining, if it's snow, if it's ice, or what have you. Also, he would like an opportunity to go up on both roofs, so he'd need to have permission from the abutter to go up, and just to watch it and see, okay, what is the situation? And then he would come back, meet with the board, and he could give you a report. He's not an engineer, so, he could probably draw you pictures, but he wouldn't be giving you architectural drawings, and just discuss with you what he feels would be the appropriate solution, and then he could cost that out and do a scope of work, scope of services that could go out for bid. Because I can continue to contact masonry people all over the state, and they're going to come back with a different solution.
We have a full array of, a variety of solutions from
Right.
people that bid on the,
Yep,
Solutions for what? We need them to repoint it and seal it.
well, maybe.
The solution is to stop the water from the inn to slamming into our building. That's not rocket science.
Wouldn't seem like it, but. we
Right, but
also have-
you would be in agreement on what the solution would be, and then we could do a formal
Will we
request for
pay
bid.
somebody to do this?
It's $45 an hour, and he said it'd probably take him 8 hours between observing and coming up with a solution.
I'd be high pressed to agree to that.
So would I.
I think that if you looked at the estimates,
Well, we only got 2 to begin with,
one was, what, $1,800, and the other one was
85,000.
85,000.
And if I go back and pull out the other ones,
Well, what
some...
are they going to do? What is described in those estimates? I can't imagine.
Oh, one is just putting sealant on it, no repoint, just...
Just put sealant on it.
Well, that's what, we don't want that, we can do that ourselves.
Oh, we don't, it doesn't need pointing, we just reseal it.
Right.
I can do this and it will last you, 15,
Right.
20 years.
I don't know, did I bring that file up?
And I disagree, if you crawl in there, you can see where the concrete's coming, the mason.
Well, the issue is keeping the first of all, is keeping the water off it, and I don't know if just sealing the building will solve that problem.
Well-
Because the
No, when
water
you-
is still coming out.
When you
It's a seal brick.
repoint, you should seal
Right.
in today's world.
But if you
They didn't used
repoint,
to. But the problem has always been the water coming off the end. It's not rocket science. Stand out there any day on a rainy day and you can see what's going on. It's not going to take 8 hours to figure that one out.
Well, there's maybe something, all we're getting for, number one, people like, I'm too busy, or they'll drive by and say, okay, and then they just give you an
No,
estimate, and
nobody
we don't
wants to
know
go
if that's the,
Because you,
it's
how
hard.
do you get up to the top?
Right.
What if we
Can't put stage in.
made the roof from this one and brought it over to where there was a roof going all the way across, so that nothing fell down, and then it's all aimed slightly like
The inn
this?
needs to do something to keep their water from damaging their runoff from damaging our building.
I know, but part of their runoff that comes on our building is water dripping off of our building.
And so we
There's
put a
water
gutter
from
on.
our building dripping onto their building that's coming back
So
on
if
our
we
building.
both gutter our buildings,
Well, who's going to tell us to do that? We could call any gutter place, and, oh, yeah, they'll put gutters up, but is that the solution? Is that the solution?
to keep
Well,
the
it sounds
water
like to
off,
me.
both buildings have to be guttered, yeah. I mean, what are you going to do, put rain
Eliminates
diverters
everything.
up there?
I don't know, that's why I
I
figure...
think there's a lot of different, I think, so far, we've sat here, and since Joyce brought the idea up, we've had about 4 or 5 different ideas from there. So you can imagine Joyce sitting in her office trying to come up with a RFP to go out with, so somebody could actually do this job. You know, what is it that we want? We've been battling this with now for 4 or 5 years.
Well, since 2007, I have estimates going back to 2007.
Who
So-
is it that wants us to pay us to do this?
He was someone I had a conversation with, that explained to me that to get a good estimate, it takes time, and that contractors like him are so busy, they have jobs lined up, because people call them to come do the work, and then for them to go and do an estimate on something that is giving us free work, I think that's why it's been so hard.
I've been in the business for 30 years. I still go out and give estimates, free. No matter how busy we are, it's part of the job of Dawson's
Yeah.
Concrete. So, I'm sorry, so who is this?
Oh, Mike Bolduc.
And what is his profession?
He's a building contractor.
Is he a mason?
He does a little bit of everything.
Does a little bit of everything, okay.
Roofing,
I guess I'm bringing this up because I can go through the whole thing. We go through this every year and put out, can you give me a quote? Take a look at this, but the hours spent walking people through there, and they just go,
and everyone has a different idea. So
Right.
it's like, what do? You either get someone that says, hey, this is what I think that it would be a great solution, and this is the most cost-effective way we could do this, and do it right,
Right.
and then we can build it out and do it.
I just don't see it as that complicated. You got to divert the water from drilling into the building. Well, there are not many ways of doing that except for gutter systems. Is there?
right,
Anything
but
other than a
what, see,
gutter
we
system?
said that before. We said, we got to
doing
keep the
this.
water away from the building, and the owner next door put gutters up.
Well, what can we imagine that this person is going to tell us differently to the solution to our problem? We know what the problem is.
The water comes down, it bounces off, hits the wall, runs. Divert it.
Well, I say put a roof all the way across, have it angled like this so the water goes off the back and off the front.
The gutter system's the only way you're gonna run the water out of there.
Exactly. Can we chew on this for a week?
Oh, sure. Sure.
I think it's just an idea. We've chewed on it for like 5 years.
5 years now.
2007.
I'd like to hear
Whoa.
Joe's opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
He ain't spending $45 an hour, I can tell you right now.
Well, I don't know.
I do.
You know,
Well, I know if I was gonna do some major work on my house, I would get there's a number of reputable contractors that I know, that I would pay them to draw up the specifications so I could put it out to bid to make sure that I got the right thing, because I don't know that stuff.
Well, I was going to jump to saying no until you said.
And I would have paid that.
Right,
And
'cause he goes into
he
the
is
most difficult
extremely
situation.
reputable. I mean, I know
Right.
his
I mean,
qualifications.
I would pay that
So
myself
it
if I,
hesitated me from going, no.
Right.
because if I had,
He picks the most difficult situations too, and he figures out the problem. I mean, he did
He's a
that.
good builder.
Right, he
He's a
is.
very good builder.
So I think that,
But I think.
I'd
I
like to
said,
see us get this done in,
Let's put it on for next week and
Joyce,
5 of
that
us.
tape?
and-
oh, I know, but different, because we've had a number of masons come and look at this, and they say, I'm booked way out because it's such a specialty
There aren't many
job
masons left.
that they don't even
Good
call
ones.
back. It's, geez, I'll try and get by and give you an estimate.
I take one look at that
Yeah,
narrow place, because I'll tell you right now, scaffolding is a huge issue for.
yeah, right, that's what Brian said.
Scaffolding.
And he thought he'd found someone that could do it.
Well, I know 3 companies that could do it, but it would frighten you to know how much it would cost.
And then the other thing is the senior center roof replacement bids went out, and they're due on the 19th. Did you get any more calls?
I've got tons of calls. But, yeah, interesting, because what we really need to know, and some of the people I met with up there, they came up and looked at it and measured it and so on and so forth, but talk about making decisions. It's like, okay, here's metal and here's asphalt, but metal has more decisions to make than asphalt has. Asphalt is color, and we do it. Metal has different types of fasteners, how they fasten together, okay, and what they're made of. So if you just go with the polyester, it will fade in 5 to 10 years. This is what I learned, 5 to 10 years. You have to really get a Kyna, which is on a Galvalume base,
Right.
which will last 35 to 50 years properly, but you're going to pay more when the bids come in. You're going to pay more for a metal roof. It'll last a lot longer than a asphalt. So the board, once we get, when is the deadline for that?
The 19th, 4 o'clock next Thursday.
All right, so next week, we have to decide, do we want to have a metal and then color? Because there's these are 2 different contractors, and
Black.
and these are 2 different color choices. Okay? But, and then, what kind of fastener system that you want. But
The
these
age of that building, I would
these 2
never put
people
asphalt.
happen to be very good companies.
So the age of that building, I would never, ever put asphalt on that roof.
Well, I was
Ever.
going to say, I think Catherine said she had this problem. We've had men come out and give us estimates to redo our roof. It's only 15 years old and it's a mess. We bought 30-year shingles,
That's right.
but the 30-year shingles you buy today are not
Not
like the
30
ones
years.
of yesterday.
They're not 30 years,
And they
right.
don't last 30 years. And we're just now, next year will be 15 years on this roof in the front. And anything that the sun has hit is shot. It needs to be replaced. And it's like, here we went the extra little bit thinking that, and it's not.
The problem is the warranty that they put on asphalt shingles.
Yes, it's
Is not
ridiculous.
rated for New England weather.
Right.
So when they tell you they're good for 25 or 30 years,
Yes. They
lie.
the fine print is not New England.
Right, right. Well, not
So,
only that, but
ice
there
and
might be a
snow,
warranty, but by
wind.
the time, even if you still have all your receipts and stuff, when they factor in the age and everything else, you get Zippo back.
Yeah, you get $100.
Yes.
Metal's the way to run it.
But I think that, so you make a decision, and then, like, this company would use this system to get the wooden shakes off, and so that there wouldn't be any stuff on the ground. And most of them,
You're going to want to strip the wooden shakes off.
Yeah, and
They'll
that's
rot
part of the-
under the metal.
well,
Probably.
part of the RFP is to take off the metal and the wood shakes and put a half-inch plywood sheathing on it,
CVX.
and then cover it. So depending on whether you put asphalt, it would be the felt, or it would be the metal, whichever we go with. So we have next week, once we open them, and we look at the price and decide, we'll be deciding, do we go metal, asphalt, and then if we decide metal, then you decide what interlocking system, which I would probably go with the standard seam, then it's more durable, it doesn't blow away.
All you have to do is drive by, look up at my barn, and look at the 25-year shingles I put on 9 years ago.
Yes.
Oh, really?
You're scaring me, because I just shingled my house.
Take a look at it.
Ever.
I'm getting a price for
You
metal.
get sun on it,
I'm getting a price
Yes.
for metal.
then
Well, this company, I tell you, there's two different companies. This is the Advanced Company, and that is FBI, I think. Both of them were extremely knowledgeable in what they did, and they had physical samples for you to see. Some of them were 9-inch width, and then another one was a 15-inch that looked more in-depth with the contour of the building. It would look more historical.
right.
You wouldn't see ribs every 9 inches.
Not a standing rib?
The ones that we put up here, it look like.
Total concept. Put that
Those
up.
were metal,
Yep. You'll-
like ones?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
those were metal, right?
Those are nice, too.
Those all
Yes, they
last
are
us.
nice.
I think any one of these colors would be fine,
Well, we were,
but I do like the green.
Price of my barn.
Nice.
The dark green?
yeah.
I like the
what
dark, you know why I like the dark green? So we don't have to change the sign that, the senior center sign is green.
Well, not only that, but it looks like copper that has, or the old copper ceilings that
That's why I
go through
like
that
green.
process and turn green.
And, yeah, these don't fade, this doesn't, if you get that polyester, whatever, or polyester mix, will last a lot longer
It doesn't
than
fade.
just the polyester that you would get at a big box store.
Right.
This lasts forever, it doesn't fade at all, so.
If your roof line is facing the sun at all, you don't want anything that's gonna fade, or even asphalt that doesn't last.
I haven't put metal on my chicken coop.
Yeah?
That's how much I'm against asphalt.
All right. What else?
Okay, I'm sorry. So anything else?
So
So you are getting some responses,
I'm
good.
getting a lot of responses and a lot of, some are going to just bid asphalt, some are going to bid asphalt and metal. They do both. So I told them, apples for apples, this is what you're going to do. So we should have fun next week.
So if they only bid one or the other, they're out. If you want bids on both.
What's that?
If we want metal and they only bid asphalt, then they're out automatically.
You remember the companies that you and I talked about
I think
this
it's
morning?
Yeah.
Thinking it was one? It's two companies. One used to work for the other.
Oh. I called him.
Good. So that's two right there.
And I
We thought it was one.
I did Dan Chapman, who's Bernie's grandson.
Oh, you did, good.
I did that. I forwarded it to him.
Just a couple more things. We need a motion to,
Yes, I got that right here.
okay.
Tim's report.
And then you've got minutes, and then you have the Catherine's request to increase the Christmas party budget by $100.
Yep,
$100.
$100. And I make a motion to increase
Good
the
thing Joe's not
Christmas party
saying
money by $100.
Second.
Any discussion?
I'm sorry, I was reading.
Christmas party, she needs another $100 to do what she wants to do for the Christmas party.
Wow, sounds exciting.
Mhm.
Have we gotten response from employees that are going to attend yet? Sometimes they come, sometimes they don't.
Pretty much. The highway's coming, right? All of Highway said they were coming.
How about our PD?
PD's coming, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
Town
nobody
hall.
really came much.
Sometimes it's hard to get the midnight food in.
They don't come very often.
Yeah.
I'll put some pressure.
Tell them they're all going to get lumps of coal.
Boy, this is good that the interest rate is still so low.
All right, all those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
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 Okay,
Wait a minute, I'll speak for Joe. No.
No.
it's his birthday, he might have a change of heart.
True.
Anybody over 60, they start to change.
Yeah, they get senile.
I got quite a few years.
All right, I will, if this is a housekeeping motion, last week we made a motion for a different percentage, so this is what it is. I make a motion that we renew the TAN for 2.15% with Franklin Savings Bank for $2 million.
Second.
Oh, I was just reading that.
All those in favor?
Hi.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Okay, and Sandy, you seconded it?
Yes.
We did it with 2.25 last week, and we didn't want them to.
Yeah.
He negotiated it down. All right, now there's one more thing we have to do is Google Apps. They'd like to, the IT expenditure, I'm at the point where we need to move soon. I'd like to get started.
Yeah, a little painful in the beginning, pay dividends, and my 214 IT service budget line for a total of $1950, and we get the first month free. So by the time town meeting rolls around, we would have expended no more than $487.50. I'd like approval to move forward.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve Tim getting started to move forward for the Google apps.
Second?
I don't know what this is.
It's with, it's different,
I know they're applications, but what exactly does that mean? And why do all of a sudden we have to pay for something that I thought was something we didn't have to pay for?
well, this is, yes, it's licenses. This is licensing and/or Word and all of that, right? Right.
That they share.
That they share together.
So that everybody's using the same thing and it's
Right.
licensed.
Right, and it's licensed.
Yeah. And it's licensed.
Oh, I get it. I got
And
it.
it's
I got it.
Okay.
I got it. Yeah, okay, I get it.
Okay.
You
Okay.
want a second on the motion?
Yep.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I got it.
You get it?
Yeah, I got it. I got it. Got it. I got it.
Got a feeling you might
I
get
do
it.
believe the light bulb went off.
Now, can we, do you have anything else for us, Joyce?
No.
The to-be-signed folder, do you still have it there with you?
I think it's,
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I wanted to look at that. It seems like everybody's going to be gone that Christmas week, so can we just talk about that for a minute?
yeah, how can we
Make sure
do
that we have some coverage,
it? Yep.
because I know we're gone, Christmas Eve, we're closed, but Thursday, let's go Monday and Tuesday. So
Tuesday, we're closing early, right? Didn't I just read
Monday, the 23rd,
that? Well, that's a Christmas party.
okay, Monday, the 23rd, Catherine's not here. and
I'm not here.
Al's not here.
I'm gone the whole week.
Gus is not here, right?
No, Gus is here, it's
No,
just
Gus
Gus
is
and
here.
I.
It's just,
I don't know
oh,
what Cindy and
Catherine's
Kim are
not here,
doing.
right.
Yeah. I don't know what Cindy and Cindy and
Well,
Kim are
Kim's
doing.
got one in there, but I'm not sure what it's for. The 18th?
That's the 18th. No, for me, it's not so much Christmas week, it's the week after Christmas, because she doesn't come back until the first of the year. after
So then the
January.
26th and 27th, Tim is off, Catherine is off, you're off, you're off. So, it's only you and Catherine?
Me and Gus.
You and Gus, again.
But I'm off as a health officer. Doesn't
Right.
mean I can't be here as a selectman.
Well-
Remember, I'm a health officer, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, no matter where I am, I'm a health officer.
Yeah, but
When I'm
why
up
would-
here, it doesn't
She has to
mean,
take the paid time off.
I have to take paid time off.
Oh, she loses
Tim
it.
told
Then
me.
why would you
come in,
come
right.
in?
Right.
Why would you
Because I
work?
still have to do selectmen stuff. I have to do park commissioner stuff.
Well,
I still have other responsibilities, budget committee. But, I mean, I have those days off, doesn't mean I'm not going to be here
Right.
doing, park commissioner stuff. I have to call
I don't,
landscapers. I mean, I can do that at home, but I can do it here just as well.
I'm around on the 26th and 27th, so if you need me to,
Thursday and Friday, okay.
on that Thursday and Friday, if you need me to come in on the, either, are we not having a meeting Thursday evening on the 26th, or are we?
Correct.
We're not.
I won't be here.
You will not be here.
Well, I don't care.
I don't care.
No, me neither. Well, let's take the night off. It's not like we take nights off all summer long. We work all year long.
But we will have one meeting before year end, though, right?
Oh,
Yes.
We have to have at least
Well,
one.
it will
Well-
have to be on
Yeah,
New Year's Eve then.
yeah.
I'll be in the hospital. I can't do it in the
So it'll be the 2nd, and that you'll be in the
I
hospital.
suggest we meet the 26th, even if it's
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has to
a short
be,
meeting.
it has to be
We
in this
won't do
fiscal year.
anything.
Okay.
All right, so we'll meet
We
the
have a phone anyway.
26th.
The
buy
only thing
tickets
I've
to
got
the
is an
Bahamas will
appointment with
include
the
you.
surgeon on the 26th.
You reach
but
me
that
by
won't be
phone, I'll be
long.
there.
Is it in the afternoon?
I think it's at 2:30,
And that's a Thursday.
yeah. But I'll look when I get home. If I can move it around, I will.
Because if we can do it in the afternoon while we're here, then we have more physical people in the office. That'd be fine. Okay, and then the 30th and 31st, it looks like a lot of people are going to be off. Al, are you off that time too?
I'll
You're
be
here, right? Okay. So we're okay. And I'll be around the 26th and 27th if you need me.
27th I'll be available.
I mean, if anything, just answering the phone. Because I don't think there'll be that much walk-in traffic, but, I mean, you just don't believe the range of calls that come in.
Oh,
It's
I do
just-
believe it.
You do believe it?
I spent an afternoon. No, I spent the morning you went to get decorations.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was between your phone and Catherine's.
And it's garbage, it's signage, it's,
Yep.
What time is
Well,
the
how about the
Northfield
person
Town
from-
Hall open?
No, the person from Franklin, why?
Oh, yeah.
Christmas
Why don't, did you hear my answer?
oh, I know. Yeah, you were like, let me answer that one.
That was good.
All right, so you just have minutes?
Yep.
Yeah, we just have minutes to go over, and,
I'll make a motion to bring the minutes of November 14, 2013 to the floor for discussion.
I have a question on payroll.
second?
Yes.
All right, all those in favor, yes.
Aye. Aye, aye.
Aye, aye, aye.
Hi, Captain.
Yeah.
I like the county's contribution of a 5% to health insurance. I'm reading our health insurance at 12%. The county's at 5%. 5 to 6.
Yeah.
5.6.
It didn't make any sense to me, the the part-time position going full-time position.
Are you making notes for the minutes? Underneath budget, it's on the first page, It's the third line down after budget, it says Char Constantino. Just
I've been
leave a
charred
I
once a
in
one.
there.
As long as it
Very
doesn't,
first page, Joyce.
as long as it
Yeah, I
doesn't
got
say
it.
share, I'm all set.
Char Constantino.
All right.
When I talk, do I really sound like that? Back July 1, so 1 would be July. But can I just, when it gets to discussion, this would be the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, fourth paragraph down? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What page are you on?
On page 2.
Oh, okay.
It says Joyce explained that when they implement the changes in the copay, they do that effective July 1, so one would be in January and the other in July. What does that mean?
I don't know.
There's a changes, there's two changes.
What I was trying to get across is that the change in the copay goes into effect January 1, but the merit increase goes into effect in July.
Right.
Why don't you put that in?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
All right?
Yep.
Did anybody correct town in the very first sentence on the
Yeah,
second
I
page?
have that one
It
circled.
shouldn't be capitalized either.
Right. What do you mean, they're told or not?
All right, so rephrase that.
Oh, did you bring up you didn't bring up the quorum stuff?
Oh, I have it.
What's that?
I figured, yeah, I thought we should talk about that, so, because that's new information.
They just need on the top of 3 after police department, comma, IT, comma, and finance. There's no commas.
The abbreviation for DOT on page 5, it really should be New Hampshire DOT. We know what DOT is, but other people might not.
Right.
On page 5.
Use the whole.
Well, she's a fast reader.
Is that right now?
On page 5, it's November 30th and December 1st. The senior center will have a craft fair fundraiser at the old Agway building. She has November and December 1st.
On page 5.
Just above Selectman Plesner.
Okay, say again, November what?
30th and December 1st. At the bottom, Selectman LaPlante, it should be Chestnut Street, High, Comma, Maple, Comma, Poplar. Daniel, it should be Daniel Drive.
I'm stuck on a sentence above that. The state does not license taxi cab drivers, semicolon. It is each individual town can make their own ordinance.
Wait.
That can make their own ordinance, is a word missing.
Pat, on the
Or leave
money-
out it is. Each
Yeah, leave
individual
out it-
town
it
can make
is.
their own ordinance.
Right,
Right,
Either way, something's got to
Yes.
happen there.
yeah.
yep.
Okay, good, I can move on now.
Pat, under the, discuss Chestnut Street, that's exactly what I always said with Chestnut Street. I bring up any of the other ones.
You didn't bring up the other ones?
Nope. He's right.
So
right to
then
say
I remember that after the discussion,
And she went down further to say that Chestnut High, Maple, Poplar, Cedar.
No. you said you received a call regarding Chestnut Street.
Correct.
After the discussion, Selectman LaPlante made a motion to start with the village district. So she's defining the village district,
Okay.
which would be Chestnut, High Street, Maple
Poplar,
Court.
Cedar Street.
It would be Maple Court, Poplar Street, Cedar Street, Spruce Street, West Street, Academy, Pine, Daniel Drive, and Highland Ave, and Linden Ave.
Which is discussed in the middle, right, okay. Yep. Take a motion to accept the minutes of November 14th as corrected.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, do you have your paper for...
I do.
We have a request for a business downtown was looking into a pawn, wanted a pawn license in,
What's a pond
Pawn
license?
shop?
Oh, pawn. I thought you
Pawn.
said pond. I was gonna
pawn
say-
license, right?
Got it. Got it. Barter and trade.
In, so they inquired from the state, and the state said to go back to the local. So,
Good stuff on us.
the chief said there is a bill, House Bill 343, that is being retained to address pawn shop and pawnbrokers issues. And we did talk about ordinance needs about 3 years ago, but the stores were all voluntarily reporting to us, so we held off. But Detective Buffington is reviewing some new ones and will be getting back to me within the next couple weeks on it. We are looking at a couple. The police need from these types of business is mandatory reporting of purchases and sales for case investigations into burglaries and theft. And as of right now, there is nothing that would prohibit this business from working as a pawnbroker from our perspective, as long as they comply with RSA 398.1 and 398.2. And we would ask that they keep a record of transactions and make those available to the Tilton Police.
Makes sense.
And they said they would on a weekly basis.
where
Just
is this
give
gonna-
you a total of sales, you know, so
Right.
pictures, everything, whatever you needed.
Become a pawn
She
shop?
does.
Jewelry only.
Yeah, jewelry only.
Not just jewelry, that's it.
So they're requesting to put one downtown, what you're saying?
For jewelry only, yeah.
A pawn shop for just jewelry?
Well,
It's the
what she
jewelry store.
had explained was
They're up-
people come in to sell jewelry, but
Right. And there are, right, and
The
there are
jewelry store wants to
Right.
have a pawn section in their existing. Well, that makes sense.
jewelry only, and it wouldn't be, you know, it wouldn't be to teenagers that just wanted to come in, it would be to people that have been customers and that are,
They're going to discriminate?
no, that they've fallen on hard times or something, that would rather hold on to their valuables and they would just have a loan rather than just sell outright their jewelry.
So they're going to have a pawn shop?
Yeah.
That's
And they're
exactly
gonna-
what they're asking for.
And they're going to discriminate their customers?
Well, they're not going to discriminate, but they have to, what they want to do is
It's up to them.
get with you to see what you want to do as far as reporting, what kind, so on and so forth. So
I think whatever the police need,
there's nothing from holding them back from doing it,
this,
from what we can tell, right?
we don't have
Yeah,
anything to stop them.
the RSA says they have to give the people a ticket,
Yes.
what it is.
Yep.
But, we just asking all the shops that they keep a record of all of those transactions for us as well.
Okay, the stolen merchandise.
Can you make it a point tomorrow to go down and talk with them? Just let them know? Okay. They're not looking into doing that. It's the first quarter of maybe next year. And it's not like right now urgent. All right. What was the other thing that we were going to talk about?
Boy, a
All
lot
right,
of
so we're
towns
here,
have them.
11, yeah, they do. A lot of towns have them, but they don't really have the restrictions on them.
Well, as long
You
as-
work pretty good with the one we have, right?
We do, yeah. I know that there are some cities that have ordinances that have them hold up for 30 days, and I think their argument is that it causes them to lose money in business. If someone comes in, they want to buy the item, they can't. I've talked to Nate about it, and we don't feel that that's necessary for us. But yeah, so far, we have had voluntary compliance. If we get down there and ask them to show us the records, they always do.
As long as they adequate description of the stuff they take,
Right.
and the person who brought it in, it shouldn't be a
Nate said,
problem.
he more hears that they just keep a record of it and photo it.
Yeah, that's what they were going to do, photo it, and then each week report
Yeah.
to you of what, if anything.
What do these towns charge them for licensing?
They have a license.
We don't have-
Probably just charge them.
No, they have
a buck,
licensing
do they?
fees.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The state has licensing.
Nope, the towns.
Specific towns.
If the city
Cities.
is over 40,000, then it's a state license. It has a population of over 40,000.
Well, what does the other one pay for a license, does he?
I'm trying to look at Salem, New Hampshire's.
Right, but we don't have an ordinance right now.
Right.
So the other one doesn't pay anything, right?
To us, they would get they get a license from the state, correct?
Only if it's over a population of 40,000.
Over 40,000.
Oh, so like Fast Cash, there's no license or permits there. You just,
And that's something to consider if you adopt an ordinance, like the taxi license, if you want to have a fee. I guess that would be up to the town.
Well, I remember reading in the original hawkers and peddlers ordinance, that there's a provision in there that we can charge a fee for gaming machines, like pinball machines and stuff. Remember seeing that in there?
I'd have to look through.
Oh, that's odd. Why would we charge a fee for that?
Well, what would we do? Tilton House of Pizza?
yeah.
Do they still
For
have
the
their video
pinball
things in there?
Yes.
They have a room. Yes, they
I
have.
mean, that would be
Kind of
the...
penny.
Why would we want to do that?
I don't know, my grandchildren would shoot me.
They love that
Do you think
room.
they'd be downstairs, or were they going to call?
They probably would be, yeah.
Okay.
They weren't going to call there, I think.
Okay, I'm gonna go down and see if they're down there. Who's that? Richard Ord. I haven't met him yet. I've got to do all his paperwork.
Okay.
What else?
What else next?
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I have a question.
Okay.
I forgot what it was, though. It was important. Oh, what are we doing with New Hampshire DOT, Mr. Commissioner, and Winter?
I called Nancy Mayville
Yeah,
and said, Nancy, I'm still working with the board, and I need to know what's the best way to transmit this information to you. I said, do I have to have the board? I told her how we were looking at all of the roads, not just those roads, to have a plan for all the state roads in town. I said, so do you want individual form, would we submit each road on their form and say, this is the road, according to our records, it's this length and whatever. The road will not take over, but we're willing to begin on X percent.
But
It's gotten back to me yet. I didn't know if to just do that in a letter, or if we want to formally
I
fill
want,
out
I
the
want the commissioner to respond to the question we asked him. And that's,
The one
we've
that-
got the veterans home up there. In fact, he suggested a better split for us.
Oh,
Less.
that's
I
right,
interpret
yeah.
it as waiting for us to come back with what we would be willing to do.
Oh, no, I definitely threw that ball at him.
Did you hit it?
Winter Street, for that intersection. Winter Street. and the-
It was, you know.
No, for the code. No, for the, he,
Instead of us taking, okay, so we had two options. They keep ownership of the roads,
All those roads.
all those roads, well, yeah, all those roads, we won't take our irons out yet. And then he countered back by saying, well, would you consider less of a fee? So instead of 1/3, 2/3, you know, we'd pay like 20%. I think it was 20% he threw out, isn't it? Yes. So now, I mean, I suppose we could discuss that and say, okay, make him a counteroffer, we've discussed it, we'd be willing to pay 15% and take the roads back.
Right, but not Winter Street.
Except for, and we discussed that a little bit.
That's right.
Which one of those roads we'd keep. I mean, I say keep Califf and Clark, and he can keep the other two. 50-50 split.
What about Colby?
That's a state road too.
Yeah, we probably should keep Colby.
We ought to leave them with Clark too, because that services.
Yeah, Winter and Clark, I meant to say Califf and Colby.
Right,
Colby and-
We'll keep two, they keep two.
right.
But I do remember you saying, Kevin, that you want to look at, it's not just these roads, let's give a complete,
Well, yeah, but that was,
and what year we wanted them done.
but we have a bump now. And before we give them the other roads, the other package, we have to figure this one out.
Right,
Unless we put those roads first, because this isn't smooth sailing.
Right, see, he wasn't coming back to us with a proposal, he wanted us to say what we wanted.
All right, then we need to get on that.
He's gonna go to his people and say, do we have money to do this?
All right, then we need to sit down and make the deal and say, okay, here's the deal we're willing to do.
Right, and Caleb is the first one to go forward because they're already using two other different pots of their money besides the municipal state aid project to do that. So that's how they're gonna do that. They're gonna fit these three pots of money together. So that would be the first one. And then definitely Winter Street, because you could get other jurisdictions involved because they wanna do natural gas and there's water lines and I don't know what the situation is with sewer, but we definitely wanna contact them. So if there's the possibility of getting other jurisdictions to kick in, then they'll move that up on the list. And then, so they keep Winter and Clark, and we consider Colby and Caleb, but all at 20%?
no, 15.
Well, we'll need to sit down as a complete board and figure that out. So that needs to be on the agenda. We need to get moving on that, so that we can get over that hurdle, and then the other ones can go into the queue.
Right, the big ones, right, the main ones.
Yeah.
The people, yeah.
All right.
Okay, that was my question.
Motion on the table.
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh, yeah.
I'll come back up.
You ever pull that cat in? One more time.
Pardon me? We never did that.
You know, this whole paid time off for me is nuts.